That's what I'm saying. Like we should get into it and then start.
It started already.
You know
We're
what I
actually
mean?
recording already.
Okay. So
We're
this
actually
is
this
actually
is the thing.
this is actually the minutes that I was asking for. Okay. So there was no warning
No, it was a
on this.
self-fulfilling
All
prophecy
right.
kind
Well, I
of
mean,
thing. Hello, everyone.
hello everyone. Welcome to session 1. So
Welcome to session 1 indeed. This is, shall we say, a bit of interesting project for us.
yes, not a first attempt, a second
No.
attempt.
In fact, this is the spiritual continuation of a previous project you and I had called Session 0.
Session 0.
And this is Session 1.
Welcome to Session 1. So I'm Peppe, and this is Kurt.
I'm Kurt.
So Session 1 is born from our need to tell to the world our opinions about Dungeons and Dragons.
And also everything which is geek related, to be honest. It's not specifically
Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons.
But if you had a pie chart, Dungeons and Dragons would be the Pac-Man part of it.
Yeah, it would be the 51%. 51% would be Dungeons and Dragons. But you will hear us yap about a lot of stuff. What are some of the stuff that we're gonna yap about?
Oh well, I'm hoping to be able to talk about first and foremost Dungeons and Dragons. We've talked about that. A lot of different role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games, and also live-action role-playing games, which is something which is becoming increasingly popular in our current country, in Malta.
Yeah, we're in Malta.
Yes, exactly.
Kurt is Maltese.
I am
Italian, as you
specifically
Napolitan.
Very important.
Very important detail. I guess everybody has already guessed that I was Italian just from the way that I speak English, but that's fine.
We also hope to talk a little bit about, just in general, like the geek scene, the news about it, pop culture, that sort of thing. But heavily, I think most of us want to focus specifically on the role-playing games aspect, whether it is the tabletop, the board game kind, whether it is the live action kind, and mostly that. Obviously, if, like, for example, we have a bit of a deja vu in the past and there is a second D&D movie, we're definitely going to be discussing it. If there is news in the D&D community, we will be discussing it. And even in the role-playing community, like, for example, as we're going to hopefully talk a little bit later on about Daggerheart, for example.
Yes. So obviously we're not gonna just talk about D&D. As Kurt said, we're gonna actually today we're gonna talk about Daggerheart. I've prepared some information. Disclaimer: none of us is a specialist on Daggerheart. We have never played Daggerheart.
We have not. And specifically myself, I avoided information on Daggerheart as much as possible to try and have this conversation of a semi-informed person telling a non-informed person about Daggerheart.
I would say
think it's going to be very interesting.
Defining me an informed person, that's
semi-informed.
But yeah, to be honest, I did not try to avoid it, but it was kind of hard to avoid. In the last few months, since its release a couple of months ago, it has been everywhere. Like if you follow any, I think pretty much any YouTuber or any D&D content creator, everybody covered Daggerheart. It has been everywhere because, I mean, it went sold out already twice.
Yes.
Or 3 times, I think.
Yes.
By this time.
Yeah.
But before going into what we're going to talk, should we say a little bit about ourselves? Because
I think we should.
This thing, people is going to say, okay, who are you and why are you talking about D&D and TTRPG?
Let's put forward our credentials, our geek CV if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Peppe, please go ahead.
Do you want me to start?
Yes, but you are mainly hosting this podcast.
Okay, wow, that's
big responsibility on you out of the blue.
Thank you very much for that. I needed to have a panic attack today. I didn't have mine yet, so here it comes. I start my background. Do we want to talk about our personal background or our like D&D background?
Okay, let's do it this way. As you can see, this is incredibly scripted and well thought out.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we just
let's do it this way.
Listen, this is just us enjoying ourselves. If you enjoy it as well, fantastic. But this is mainly,
Yeah, just for us
Yeah,
mostly. Let's start off with this. Say something about yourself, like from your personal life, maybe your like what do you do for a living or that sort of thing, and then focus mostly on your experience as a role player.
sure. So, okay, I'm Italian. I moved abroad 13 years ago to Malta. Loving the country, loving the long summer,
Ah,
which the locals hate.
it's what I hate.
The locals hate the long summer. I love the long summer. I've been living here, as I said, for 13 years. And in these 13 years, I've been mostly working in iGaming, as you know. But besides that, my other job is actually being a dungeon master, almost full-time dungeon master. I've been playing D&D since I was, I think, 10 years old or 11 years old. So now I am 34. I only took a short break 13 years ago when I moved to Malta. For the first 2 years, I didn't play D&D because obviously I didn't know anyone who played here. I played for a little while digitally online with some friends in Italy
On Roll20 or what?
on
do you use?
Roll20 and Discord.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So it was a disaster because it was way before the pandemic. Because obviously during the
Yeah.
pandemic, everybody was playing D&D online.
Yeah.
But that was 13 years to now 10 years almost before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So for us was something completely new, and it was a very different experience that we had.
Definitely, and I think something we need to touch upon, and maybe perhaps in a future episode of this podcast, is how the nature of virtual role-playing games evolved.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
it changes a lot, almost on a monthly basis, almost. Maybe exaggerating it a little bit, but pre-COVID to post-COVID, there
completely
was a
different,
completely different
approach
experience.
to TTRPG in general, not
Yes.
just D&D. But yeah, so I took a break for a couple of years because obviously my English was not good enough to play D&D in English.
Okay.
I had never played D&D in a different language than Italian at that time. And then I got into something which is one of the main points for which we became such good friends was our love for Critical Role.
Indeed.
I discovered Critical Role when they were on their last episode of Campaign 1.
So I actually started watching them before you did.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I think that was 2017 or 2016.
I can't remember exactly when I started, but I remember Tiberius being in the party when I was watching it live at the time.
Wow, that's the very beginning.
It's the very beginning.
That
I
is
think
the
first
very
30
beginning.
episodes or something.
Yeah, first 27 episodes.
Yeah. See,
So I took a break. Then I find out about Critical Role through Joe Manganello.
okay.
Because I used to follow Sofia Vergara on Instagram, and she was talking about her husband playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, who's this guy? And I find out that he's the guy from Magic Mike. I was like, wow, this guy plays D&D? I would have never expected him playing D&D. And then I find out that he was in a live play, which was Critical Role. And I found out about Critical Role when they were on the last episode. So I watched the last episode without any context.
Jesus.
The only context that I had at the time was that I knew who
D&D.
Vecna was.
Yeah.
So and they were playing an edition of Dungeons and Dragons that I had never played before.
Of course, because you always played.
I played 3.5 for most of my life. I started with third edition, and then when it moved, I transitioned to 3.5.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah. So I've been playing now for 22 years almost Dungeons and Dragons. For most of my life, I was happily a player.
I cannot share that sentiment.
Yeah, you started immediately as a dungeon master, didn't you?
Yeah, I will talk about it in a second.
So yeah, so I've been a player for most of my career as in D&D, and now for the last 6 years, almost 7, going 7, because yeah, I started in 2018 with a group of young Maltese boys and girls, literally stalking me from the Malta Comic Con, asking me. They literally followed me around, and they asked me my Facebook because they saw me playing at a table.
Okay, so this was before you and I met, of course.
This was before you and I met. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And they literally stalked me and they said, can you teach us how to play D&D?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you don't teach people how to play D&D, you just
Just
play.
play it.
Yeah, you just play.
Exactly.
And I said, okay, so then let's play. Can you be our dungeon master? I'm like, I never DM'd before. I'm not a dungeon
Well,
master,
there you
I'm a
go.
player.
And now you have your DM career for
And
how long now?
Yeah, I would say 6 years. I've been
Yeah.
playing Curse of Strahd with them for the last 6 years. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's an extended version of Curse of Strahd.
Yeah, of course.
Starting at level 1, going to level 20. At the
Yeah.
moment, we are level 10, so halfway through it. And now I have another group, which is an older, more mature group, which I would say is a lot more immature than the because this
That
group,
tends to happen.
yeah, this group, they were very young when they
Yeah.
started. They were, I think, the youngest was 16 and the oldest was like 19, and now they're all like in their
Yeah.
mid 20s, like 24, 25.
Absolutely.
And the other group, no, they're all older than me. I am probably one of the youngest of the group. But
And you're DMing them or you're playing
I
with
am
them?
DMing
You're
them.
DMing
I am
them.
DMing them. They're all colleagues, people from
Okay.
the iGaming world. We were all colleagues at a certain point in time,
Uh-huh.
and they were super excited when I spoke to them about. They didn't know what D&D was.
Yeah.
Like, they had heard about it. From Stranger Things or like
Yeah,
cousins
yeah,
or
when it start-
brothers
When it
and
started
stuff.
getting popular kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they wanted to start.
Hmm.
So we started, and now we have been going for a year and a half.
You have a very experienced Dungeons and Dragons portfolio. That has to be said. Now, I myself, I don't have that much experience for that long. I never actually heard of Dungeons and Dragons back when I was a kid. I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, however, few years before the pandemic. So I think around 2016, something around that time. So was that 6, 7, 8 years? How long? I'm bad at
2016?
math. Yeah,
That's
it's
9 years ago.
almost 10 years.
Yeah, 9 years ago.
Damn. So yeah,
We old.
that's how it started. So I started about 9 years ago, and I started as a DM, and I'm one of those people who ends up being a forever DM. I played very brief bouts, like one shots there, a brief campaign there, and that's how we actually met. We're both players in the same campaign. But I myself have a lot more experience as a DM rather than a player.
Yeah. True that.
So yeah, actually the first campaign I ever DM'd started off with insanely 6 players around the table,
Okay.
trying to fit them in a 4-player campaign, which was the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and they actually have the starter kits right over there in the library. The Lost Mines of Phandelver. I modified it slightly.
By the way, sorry. Can we appreciate the beauty that it's all over there, please? Okay, sorry. Continue.
My beloved collection.
I love this
Jay's,
side
not just mine, but
particularly,
yeah,
but yes.
but mostly mine. So we started playing the Lost Mines of Phandelver. I modified it slightly to introduce a character which you, I'm sure, are very familiar with. Aros Avel. Aros Avel is one of those characters that appears in all my campaigns.
Yeah.
And essentially, he wasn't even a player back then. Like, I hadn't played him as a player or anything. He was actually an inspiration from my World of Warcraft character.
So he was, from the start, he was an NPC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he was from the start an NPC. And he is built upon my World of Warcraft character. I've been playing World of Warcraft for like, 30 years now. Is it? No, since 2004. That's 21 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a longer years.
And I've been playing Aros Avel in a role-playing capacity for a very long time. Okay, because I used to play a lot on role-playing servers, where instead of just fighting creatures and stuff like that, you would just slowly walk around saying hi to people, and that's how I got into
like
role-play. Yeah, and then I discovered D&D and that sort of thing. So Aros kind of became one of the mainstay characters in my portfolio. I eventually played him as a player with Peppe and in a campaign.
Actually, I thought that was the beginning of Aros Avel. I thought that's where he was born.
In my canon multiverse, he's one of the variants, so to speak.
Okay.
That player was one of the many Aros Avels in the universe. But anyway,
so hold on before going to your D&D, because obviously we find out you are one of those forever DM. I've tried to break your curse, but we didn't really manage. Like I wanted to
No.
make you one of my players, but we didn't really manage to make it happen.
Maybe someday in the future.
But tell us before that, like before starting D&D, like who's Kurt before outside of D&D?
Okay, yeah, that's a fair question to ask, I believe. Yeah.
Because this is the thing. Pepe outside of D&D, like, has almost nothing to do with roleplay games and stuff. Meanwhile, Kurt outside of D&D, he does a lot of other things like related.
Kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, so first and foremost, by day, I am essentially a scientist, right? You know, I graduated in pharmaceutical technology, pharmaceutical industry, all that stuff. I nowadays work in, in medical gases, which is a very niche kind of area, in quality and that sort of thing. So, the kind of like making good medicines is my shtick, or at least making sure good medicines are made is my shtick. So that's what I do by day. Yeah.
Yes.
Look who's talking. So by day I work in pharmaceuticals, but I also have a lot of other hobbies and a lot of other interests.
Yeah.
And I think what you're specifically referring to is my love for crafting.
Yeah.
I love to 3D print props. I make props. I make cosplay. I collaborate with a lot of different artists on the island. I also love working with leather. I'm a leather worker as well.
You also cosplay yourself.
I do cosplay myself, and I also build a lot of outfits for myself and for other players as well for live action roleplay, for LARP, in fact. And I would like to take an episode and actually discuss that in the future.
You should.
Because LARP is a big part of who I am nowadays, a big part of my life, and a big part of my efforts. And LARP obviously could not be possible without the different players, supported by different members of the community and that sort of thing. So it's very important. And while we're on this,
we will eventually. Like, we might have some guests sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like we can invite
once we can
someone.
afford more microphones, we can definitely have more guests.
Yeah.
But also like on the lines of support, I think it's good to highlight our support. So first and foremost, thank you very much to Jade. She's behind the scene.
You will not see them because they are outside of the camera, but right now there are two more people in the room here with us.
Yes, we have Jade, who's officially so let's explain this. Peppe is the executive director.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, he's the executive director of Epic Geeks, while I am the creative director for projects that we come up with.
Sure.
And Jade is we call her the BTP, which is the backstage technical and what was it? I can't even remember the acronym
and
myself.
Props?
No, I think it was backstage technical. Could be props. I can't remember. So we made up this really long title on purpose.
We made up everything. That's why we play D&D. We love to make up things.
Backstage technical and props manager or something, like whatever. Like we made this whole thing for her on purpose. We also have Andrea Juice. We'll obviously have links to all these people and in our description, but thank you very much.
The social media and stuff.
Yeah. Andrea basically is here to take photos of us. He's kind of he's a very good friend of ours, first and foremost.
Yes.
And
I mean, and they are both part of this world because they both
LARPers, cosplayers,
both cosplayers.
Yes.
So
and
it's a geek family. Yeah. It's a geek family.
Yes, and people have collaborated both with in the past as well.
Yeah.
So something that's speaks to our community. But also
going back to
the crafting.
Yeah, the crafting, the LARPing. So you do a lot of stuff that are actually related to role play in general.
Yes.
Going back on your D&D career.
Yeah. So I started in 2016. I started DMing for 6 people, and I adapted the Lost Mines of Phandelver, introducing some aspects of my own. But quickly, soon after we finished that campaign, which isn't very, very long, to be honest, it was like, surprisingly for 6 people, it took maybe 3 or 4 sessions.
Okay.
Which wasn't very long for us. They did skip some parts because obviously like they were all new players. They were all first time players, and I was a first time DM.
Yeah.
So I was very much inexperienced at the time.
I mean,
but we quickly transitioned into something which I do not recommend DMs starting out after 4 sessions doing, which is starting a homebrew campaign. With a homebrew setting.
Do. I mean, that's the beauty of D&D. I mean,
it's the best part of D&D.
Yeah, that's
homebrewing.
Like if you love creating things, and you as a crafter, like I could
Absolutely.
not envision you playing someone else's world because you are a maker by nature.
I try.
So yeah, I was 100% sure when we spoke about D&D, I was up 100% sure that you would have come up eventually with your own word.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did after the Lost Mines of Fendelver. I created this mystical world of Yukabai, it's
Yep.
called. So even in terms of the map and how it was drafted and how I envisaged it, it was kind of like this, like a donut kind of. It was a ring essentially, you know, inland
Yeah.
sea, outward sea, and it was just there. It had no explanations to why it was that
Yeah.
way. It had no rhyme or reason. Um,
I mean,
but that's
spoiler,
that
it does.
nowadays.
But
Nowadays it does.
yeah.
But that's the thing about creating your homebrew world. Sometimes you just start with creating a city and you evolve
Yeah.
the whole nation around it. Sometimes you start with the cosmos and kind of you delve into and create the
Yeah.
details. And I started somewhere in the middle,
You
creating the
did
continent.
both. Yeah, you
I
created the
created the
continent and then
continent.
expanded the continent and then created the entire universe and put the continent in it.
But here's the thing. I created Yukabai at the time to fit in the world of Exandria. At the
Okay.
time, it was like season 1
Okay.
critical role. And in fact, I created my first short campaign, which was in the first city that my players played in. The city is called Reisenstad,
Okay, see, I
as the
remember.
very south of the continent, if anyone is familiar with the map. Um,
I mean,
that,
we might have some old viewers that still
yeah,
remember about
the campaign, and we'll talk about the
the
campaign as
campaign.
well.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But in Reisenstad, I kind of not published, but I wrote up the first module with the intention of having it like a multi-module campaign
I've seen
series.
that.
And in fact, I have it
Uh-huh.
there. It's also there.
I
And I
think.
wrote one in particular dedicated to Matthew Mercer, and I never got the chance to give it to him publicly.
Yes, I actually saw that. I actually saw that, and I think we actually took that out in an episode of Session Zero.
Yes, we did.
We did.
We did.
We
We
did.
did. We did. But we'll talk about it a little bit later as well. Because
Yes.
kind of I don't want to divert
No,
too
but
much on that.
that's very interesting seeing like where you because like we are both DMs, we are both players,
Well,
more or less.
I do enjoy playing as well, but
I mean, we have met.
as players.
That's how we became friends.
Exactly.
We have found ourselves in a D&D game, which we did enjoy for a time.
No,
We had a
I'll
good
be
time.
honest. I really enjoyed that campaign.
Yeah.
The DM in particular, Julian, was very good. I enjoyed the story that he was weaving. We had a lot of players, but that's the problem with a lot of players around the table.
Yeah.
Combat becomes very slow.
Yeah.
Making decisions as a party becomes very slow, and you can't really split the party because the DM has prepared the campaign for 6-7 people, and unfortunately, you know.
Besides that, the splitting of the party meanwhile makes sense in real life because you can achieve more. It's counterintuitive in D&D because it takes longer if you split. Because obviously the DM can only focus on one group at the time, so you're gonna take even longer.
Exactly. So yeah, so we met through this campaign at a place which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, which is a huge shame. It was this geek shop called Malta Geek Paradise.
Yeah.
Back in
shout out Malta Geek Paradise.
Pre 2019. This
was pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID was I think 2018 we started playing there.
And I played a warlock, a great old one warlock back then,
which was
Aros Avel. And you played multiple characters.
I played a bunch of
by
characters. One of my characters just went off to do his thing. Another one died.
I think technically Aros did die as well, but we started. I think you were playing the Gloomstalker
when you started, because I had started before.
No, when I started.
Yeah, I was playing a Gloomstalker. I was playing, I think it was, 2018, Dragonborn was not a core race. Was it?
No, I think it was.
Was it already a core race? Yeah, because it was... No, yeah, but there was the new version of the Dragonborn that came out in... I don't remember if it was Xanatar's Guide or Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. By the way, there was a new version of the Dragonborn, and I was playing that new version of a Black Dragonborn.
Okay.
Which was a Gloomstalker rogue, I believe. It was like multi-class rogue ranger. It was a bit of a Batman like the vibe. that I was trying to
It was
give.
very anti-heroic.
Yes, the issue with that character was that obviously did not really meld well with the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Like the vibe of the character was very off of the
Broken
goofy,
board.
yeah, of the goofy style of the rest of the party.
Yeah.
We had some very quirky characters.
We had very
and then
good
I,
players.
and then
as well,
I, yeah. No, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a nice experience. I played with them for a few years. You were there for I think a year.
About a year and a half, 2 years,
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
was with them I think for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
But in the end, like the main character that I played was a multi-class celestial warlock,
That I remember.
cleric of life.
Yes, I remember that one.
Was Eredan.
Eredan, that was his name. I remember. And in fact,
Eredan was his
it was
name.
it was something which was very particular because my character had this very strange origin story. Like Aros kind of was like the traveler out of time kind of thing. He was, I believe if I recall, he was stuck in the sarcophagus for like hundreds of years. And to him it was like instantaneous,
Yeah.
like he was in stasis kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Kind of.
And I remember you guys meeting him in like this dungeon delve or tomb
Yeah.
or whatever it was. But for some reason, our characters have always gotten along.
Yeah.
Because I think both as players and both as our characters that we happen to play, they happen to be very pragmatic.
Yeah.
In the sense, like, listen, that is our goal. That's what we need to do. And like, okay, kill no one. Like, don't be evil. And that just that general stick, you know. And I think that's how we kind of really hit it off.
Yeah, because I think we immediately realize because we are very different.
Yeah.
But I think we are very compatible in the sense that we like the strong point of one is the weak point of the other.
Exactly.
So and even during the game we had these.
Yeah, we kind of like looked had each other's back.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
And it was great. And then you left.
And then actually because
How dare you?
So wait, okay. So first and foremost, Aros died.
Yeah, Aros
which
died.
I think was a bit of a bullshit death.
But Aros
happens,
died
like
in a
these
very
things happen.
controversial way. Let's say
Yes.
like that.
Basically, he was blasted to oblivion, and he was resurrected.
He was resurrected as a
Fire mage. Sorry, it wasn't fire mage. It was a
pyromage.
pyromancer sorcerer.
Yes.
It was
Which I think was like a homebrew thing.
It was.
Yeah, it was a homebrew thing.
But by then, D&D Beyond was already a thing, so this was much later.
Yeah. That was because you left for a while. After Aros died, you left for a while, and then you came back with the pyromancer.
It was only a couple of days, though.
No, I think you left for a couple of months.
A couple of days. Then I played Bearing.
Then you left
After
again.
Bearing, I left. I think.
Hold on, because you played also. What was his name? Frederick?
No.
Like this Witcher kind of character. Henrik
Verbalt.
So Henrik
was a blood hunter.
So it was a Witcher inspired.
This was just after my first Witcher School episodes. You can imagine why I played the Witcher.
You were super hyped.
I was so hyped.
You were super hyped about that character, which lasted a very short time. Not because he died, but just because I think
because blood hunters, I found them a little bit boring, to be honest. He was cool.
Really?
I found them boring at the time.
Okay.
Maybe I was playing the wrong subclass.
Could be. I mean, we will discuss. By the way, we have plans for stuff.
Indeed.
Surprisingly, we do have plans. But I would love to talk more in depth. First of all, different classes.
Yeah.
But also like these non-official, official classes.
Yeah.
Like the Blood Hunter, for example, or the Gunslinger Fighter. That they are not technically. I mean, they are homebrew.
Yeah, they're homebrew.
But
they
are
started homebrew and
included on D&D Beyond, so people kind of treat them as
exactly. They're like non-official,
core.
official kind of things. Yeah,
kind of.
But
so that was it, and I think we should move to our topics of the podcast.
Absolutely. I
we've been
think we have
yapping
established
about
our
all this
credentials so far. So let's talk about a lot of different things today. I think mainly we have to talk about two things, right? We have two things on the agenda today, which is
three things on the agenda.
3 things?
Yes,
Three
we have
things?
Daggerheart.
Yeah.
So We have
Oh yeah, three things. I remember
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
I remember now.
we
But
have
actually, Peppe did brief me a little bit, but
the
not
Warcaster
very organized.
the Warcaster feat controversy
Yes. And
that
to be
happened in the last few weeks.
yeah, to be fair, by the time this episode aired, would be more than a few
Will be
weeks.
a
So
month. Will be about a month.
exactly. But we
Yeah.
don't really care about timelines. We just want to say our piece anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Like to be honest, it's not a controversy anymore already.
Probably it's settled.
So
Yeah, already it's already
It
settled.
is settled. It is kind of settled, but we want to give us our 2 cents. on it.
Exactly.
Our 4 cents in this case.
Exactly.
2 cents for me, 2 cents for Kurt.
Exactly. We're going to be like that meme of Steve Carell's character in The Office. How
Which
the
one of
man-
the bajillion?
And no, the man how hold on, I'm blanking right now. The manager's name way on The Office. Steve Carell's character. What's his name? Michael Scott.
Yes,
Michael Scott. Yeah, thank you.
Pardon, thank
Michael
you,
Scott.
thank you,
I blanked completely. So
Listen,
you know,
it's not easy to talk into a microphone in front of a camera. Okay.
so Michael Scott meme with his manager.
Yes.
Yeah, the big with the long hair, like shaking the hands
shake
and everything. It's like,
yes.
okay, we're coming right after. We're not doing anything. We're getting all
Yeah,
the
we're just-
credit for contributing.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we're doing.
Listen, this is necessary.
Exactly.
We have to get it out of our
yeah.
system.
So there's the Daggerheart, there's the Dragonborn, the Warcaster stuff, and
then
predictions.
there is soon is gonna start Critical Role Campaign 4.
Yeah.
As we said, that was one of the main point of
Exactly.
us bonding and becoming
Exactly.
friends.
Exactly.
So we have been fans of Critical Role ever since,
Yeah.
and we have followed. I believe I followed a little bit more constantly.
You do. To be
Critical
honest,
Role.
I don't have the attention span anymore or the time to follow them religiously, but I'm hoping once the new campaign starts out, I'll be able to follow it a little bit better now.
Also because there is a lot
things
of
are settling
news,
down in life as
a
well.
lot of news
Yes, there's a lot of
in
news
the
to come.
Critical Role
Yeah.
world. So let's start with some
yeah,
news of the
we
Critical Role world,
Definitely.
which is Daggerheart.
Definitely. Let's start off. So, what is Daggerheart? Pepe, please tell me. What is Daggerheart?
Okay, so again, spoiler.
Mm.
We have not played Daggerheart. By the way, not sponsored. Hey, Darrington Press. If
What?
you know, just saying. So Daggerheart has had an incredible impact on the TTRPG world.
Okay.
Since the launch, to be honest, for something that was launched by Critical Role, for how successful they have
Yeah.
been for the last 10 years, I was kind of expecting a big wave.
Yeah.
I was not expecting this much of a wave.
Yeah. So, to start off, Daggerheart is a tabletop role playing system.
Yeah, it's a role play game.
Exactly.
Um,
Just like D&D, just like Pathfinder.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It has many things in common with D&D, but it is different in many ways.
To be fair, I think D&D has been around long enough to kind of have a lot
To
of
share
different
things,
systems, and you know, like it's been around since the 60s. Obviously, anything that anyone does is gonna have some sort of similar or like imitation, like overlapping systems and mechanics.
of course.
You have to, like, you can't really say I'm gonna invent a new system without rolling dice if you're trying to play a role-playing game nowadays. I mean, you can try, and good for you if you manage, but
No, and I mean, and there are
You know?
systems that are very distant from D&D that
Yeah.
don't share as much with D&D.
yeah. But for the most part, you're gonna have systems that have some similar features, and Daggerheart is one of them.
Daggerheart has some, but I do believe that the main. So first of all, it's a heroic style of roleplay.
Yeah.
I would say even more heroic than D&D in the impression that I had, because I have not played it firsthand, but I've watched some of the Age of Umbra series that Critical Role put out in recent months.
Yes, and after this episode's recording, I will be able to finally watch it.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I was gonna say I struggled to understand the game, but it's not really hard to understand the game. The mechanics are pretty simple. They're pretty clear. It's just that obviously coming from a background of knowing mostly I've played a lot of other RPGs apart from D&D, But obviously, the thing that I know, my game, is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
I feel Daggerheart has been created with having in mind the shared narrative aspect and the flowing of narrative more than D&D.
So kind of when we're saying in the sense that the system is more about the rule of cool rather than the combat aspect.
I would say is made for a live streaming.
That is amazing. When it comes to D&D campaigns in general, like, okay, role-playing systems in general, when I run my games, I put a disclaimer for all my players. Like, listen, this is going to be a narratively heavy campaign. If you're expecting a dungeon crawler, busting doors and killing monsters and moving on, there will be some aspects of it in my campaign, but it's not going to be the focus.
Yeah, it's not the main.
And from what you're saying, Daggerheart seems to be the kind of system that I would enjoy.
I would say in the sense that I feel the rules are much slimmer than D&D, and they have in mind, as I was saying, like it is born with in mind the narrative more than the game itself. Like D&D was not born to make a live stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
D&D was born to play with your friends, and
yeah,
I feel Daggerheart, like when the creators, Matthew Mercer and the entire team that is behind Daggerheart, because obviously it's not just Matthew Mercer. Actually,
of course,
there is a lot of other people that contributed to that, but they had clearly in mind what they have been doing for the last 10 years. And they made a system that makes the flow of the narrative a little bit easier when you are live playing. So,
okay.
Or at least this is the feeling that I had. It works very well. On camera, it works very well. The general gameplay, it's pretty similar. The narrative of it is pretty similar, with the difference that you can very much adapt it to different, I would say, settings. Doesn't have to be necessarily strictly medieval fantasy. You can adapt it a little bit more.
And again, like technically Dungeons and Dragons allows for steampunk campaigns, it allows for modern campaigns.
You can play noir, you can play many things.
But to be fair,
it's not made for that.
Exactly, but the majority of like D&D campaigns, I would say 95% of D&D campaigns, if not more, would focus about the medieval high fantasy, that sort of thing. Because obviously, like the game is built with magic in mind. And yes, you can have in a very creative sense magic in a modern setting or magic in a steampunk setting, for example, artificers and that sort of thing. But it's built for a certain set of narrative. If Daggerheart is more versatile and flexible at that, I think
a little bit more. I feel it's a little bit more versatile than D&D itself.
That being said, I still expect the majority of roleplay campaigns, both online and offline, like among people, to be medieval and high fantasy
some sort
dominated.
Of medieval, yes.
Because to be honest, I think that is the prevalent, shall we say, prevalent narrative.
In our imagination, the
exactly.
fantasy is it's settled there.
Exactly.
Like
no one wants to play a Blade Runner role-playing game. That's bleak enough.
I mean, there is.
It's interesting. Don't get me wrong.
Like there is cyberpunk. There are other role-play games that tackle that. But I think when you play a high fantasy, you mostly go medieval high fantasy.
Exactly.
There is also a lot of gameplay that tackle the same medieval, but it's not a Western medieval. It's like an Oriental.
Exactly.
More like Eastern, Japanese, old Chinese empire style. But I don't feel that's exactly the Daggerheart vibe.
Okay.
At least from my experience and what I've seen in Age of Umbra.
So
Age of Umbra is a very dark game.
I have to follow that. But speaking of Daggerheart now, in terms of mechanics and how it works, so do you still roll dice? I'm assuming yes.
Obviously, you don't. It's not D20 based.
Okay.
So instead of a D20, you have 2 D12.
So finally, we have a use for them.
Yes. Actually, poor D12. Shout out to the D12. Only Barbarian use them. So use 2 D12. And they have to be 2 distinct dice.
Okay.
Because one represents hope, the other one represents fear.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, the
Yes.
different dice is never going to be a problem for anyone who plays D&D.
Yeah, actually.
Like 7,000 sets is normal. Don't be ashamed. You're one of us.
Well,
But
not
okay.
be ashamed. I am not on that train. I am not.
Sure.
I have maybe 10 sets of dice.
Yeah, but you still have more than one, and
But
that's
I
my point.
have no. But what I'm saying is, I have, first of all, because I was gifted some of them to my lovely friends, and I bought more than one just because I had players that did not have their dice set.
Okay.
So I was providing the dice set when I was DMing. I still use just one, maybe two of them. I don't use more. But this is a topic for another thing, because clearly you see that we have different positions about
There
it.
may only
so-
be one episode of session 1. Okay, so
yeah,
yeah, the
so
hope
two
and the
dice,
fear dice.
hope
What
and
are
fear.
they? Yeah.
So you roll both d12. You sum the numbers, and the sum is your
Okay.
result.
Okay.
But
So up
the
to
higher
24?
number, yeah, up to 24.
Yeah.
So it's the higher number of the two dice decide if it's a roll with hope or a roll with fear. So let's say you roll the two dice, you have a 12 on the hope dice and
Okay.
a 1 on the fear dice.
Okay.
The total is 13,
Okay.
but you roll 13 with hope.
Okay. So
Because the higher
okay,
number is
I
the hope die.
understand.
So now hope, so you get hope when you roll with hope, and the dungeon master get fear when you roll with fear.
So basically, okay, so let me clarify this just to be sure.
Yeah.
So you have two dice, let's say red and blue. Red for fear, blue for hope.
Correct.
And I roll an 8 on the red and a 10 on the blue. So that means that my overall die
Is
despite
18.
exactly,
Yeah.
but I roll with hope because hope
the
was
hope
the
die
higher
was
number,
the higher number.
in this case.
Yeah.
If it was the other way around, if the red die had a higher number, it means that I've been rolling with fear.
Correct.
Okay, so what do these things mean?
So basically, when you roll with hope, obviously there is still a DC that you need to beat.
Yeah,
The dungeon master
there's some
still-
sort of difficulty level.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Because there are some roleplay games, like the
Yeah.
other roleplay game that Darrington Press published before Daggerheart. It actually has a D6 system, and you roll a number of D6 based on whatever you're rolling, and you automatically decide if you succeed or not. There is no DC. Like if you roll a 5 or a 6, it's a success.
okay.
And then there is 4 is a mixed,
Yeah, very much
and
like
then
the
lower than 4.
Yeah, it's very Fantasy Flight kind of like the Arkham horror and stuff. Yeah, the board games kind of thing.
So yeah, there are certain games that have inbuilt success or failure. Meanwhile, Daggerheart, like D&D, they have a set DC for achieving certain things. And obviously, when you roll with hope, you get hope. When you roll with fear, the dungeon master gets fear. And the hope and fear can, let's say, unlock certain abilities that you can do. So you can spend them to do certain things, or the dungeon master can spend fear
Okay, so
to let an NPC or a monster do a certain thing.
okay, so say you get a hope die, and does that mean that you have to spend that hope die there and then, or is it
Not
like
immediately.
resources
No,
that you
it's a
keep up?
resource. It's a resource that you can.
Okay, so almost
that
like
you
the
can
inspiration
get.
kind of thing, like
Kind of, but sort of. Because
Okay.
inspiration, like this is another thing. Inspiration gives you advantage in D&D.
okay,
The advantage in Daggerheart is not re-rolling. You just add a D6
okay,
to the total.
okay.
So you roll the 2d12. When you have advantage, you roll the 2d12. It's still the total hope or fear, and then you roll a d6 and you add it to the total. So that's the advantage.
Okay.
In
So basically, the hope and the fear dice are like different resource, like a separate resource
Yeah.
system that you accumulate throughout the game.
and
Is
one
there
is
a
for
limit?
the players and one is for the dungeon
And
master.
is there a limit to them?
I believe there is a limit.
Okay.
I think it's based on I think the level that you are or
Okay.
the class that you're playing, because I think there are classes that can do certain things and classes that can do certain other things, but everyone can have hope, and I don't think there is a limit for fear for the dungeon master.
Oh yeah, of course. I would assume not.
Yeah.
So
So
I think a good thing to do maybe in the future episode of this podcast actually is to sit down and actually create a character with the Daggerheart system, because to be honest, like from the little that I'm hearing right now,
that would be
something
nice.
I'm really
It'd be
interested
cool.
in.
Actually, on there is a series of videos that Critical Role is putting out, which is literally converting the characters from campaign 3. So
Okay.
from the campaign
Yeah.
that ended a few months ago,
Yeah.
into Daggerheart.
Okay.
Because obviously they played some one shot with those characters, but not on the D&D system, on the Daggerheart system.
Mm-hmm.
And so they are showing how they converted from Dungeons and Dragons to Daggerheart.
It's interesting.
So that was the advantage. And then how do you roll a critical roll in Daggerheart? It's very simple. It's when you roll the same number on both.
Okay, that's interesting.
on both
Okay,
dice.
so it's
If you roll a double,
so is it 1 in 12 and 1 in 12 chance rather than 1 on 20?
yes.
Math, folks, do the
Yes.
math, please.
Uh,
Which one is more likely to happen?
Well, to be honest,
I think
to
the
be honest,
D20 is more likely to happen rather than the one.
the D20 is more swingy though.
Yeah.
So I've looked into it, and
Amuse me.
yeah, well, don't expect some sort of correct explanation. I'm just venting. So basically, the statistics for the 2D12, it's a bell.
Yeah.
So the number towards the center are the most common,
Yeah, of course.
and the numbers. Meanwhile, on D&D, it's flat, because obviously you have a 5% chance to roll any number. So it's a lot more swingy. It can change a lot more. Meanwhile, the 2D12 goes more towards a medium than towards the opposite. Because obviously it's much easier to roll an 8 or a 10.
Yeah, of course, because you're rolling 2 dice and you're
or a
working out an
24.
average. Yeah, so
Exactly.
it follows a Gaussian distribution
Exactly.
for those
Yes.
scientists out there.
Thank you. We had to have
Yeah.
a smart one. So he's smart one.
Which one? Who?
The Samurai Jack cosplay.
Thank you, Obi Damon.
So yes, so critical success and critical failure. So if you roll like super low below the DC, it's a critical failure. If you roll above the DC and it's same number, critical success. And then there are only three conditions.
Excuse me, this is the critical failure thing. So if it's lower than a DC, it's a critical failure.
I think so.
So it's all like every failure is a critical failure.
No, only if you roll this double number.
Oh, double number below the DC.
Yeah. Like if you roll 2 once.
Okay, so if the DC is, I don't know, 5 and you roll 2 once, 2 2, 3,
exactly.
4. Okay,
Exactly.
I understand.
So
And what if you meet the DC that passes then, I would assume?
Yeah, if you meets it, beats it.
Yeah, meets
so
it,
it's
beats
always
it.
it's
Same
always
philosophy,
like that.
perfect.
Yeah. Conditions. Meanwhile, in D&D, we have a bunch of conditions. There is only 3 conditions.
I still can't remember all of them, and I need to keep referring to D&D Beyond.
To be honest, D&D Beyond helps a lot.
Yes, you just
Also,
hover over.
Not sponsored.
Again,
Beyond,
but incredibly useful to have.
Just no. I love. Listen. I had to teach 16 years old how to play D&D, and D&D Beyond was instrumental to that.
Yes,
Because first of all, they're better than me using D&D Beyond.
Yeah, we're millennials.
We're old.
We're millennials.
Yes. No, and also like now they have really learned how to play D&D thanks to D&D Beyond, because you have everything there. You have
the resources are
it's literally
accessible.
one click away. So conditions, you have only hidden, restrained, and vulnerable.
Hidden, I'm assuming like stealthing stuff, hidden from sight.
Restrained is like, instead of having like in D&D you have grappled, you have restrained, you have stunned, you have
They're all fall under
just
one
restrained,
category.
and vulnerable is just
Okay, and what do these mean?
Well, I don't have specific detail about that because we will have to look. To be honest, I do want to buy the core set.
Yeah, we should.
First of all, it's not very expensive, and it comes with a ton of stuff. I've seen the box of the Daggerheart core. I think it's $60, so it's not extremely expensive.
Yeah,
and it comes with a ton of stuff. It comes with dice, comes with cards, because obviously the character builder, and we're gonna talk about it. The character building is card based.
Okay.
So there is 2 decks of cards for every class.
Okay.
So there is a ton of cards because there is, I think, the same amount of classes as Dungeons and Dragons. Pretty much the same classes. The races are or species of Dungeons and Dragons. They are called ancestries.
Okay, that's interesting.
And the backgrounds are called communities.
Okay.
Which is where you are,
Makes
where you
sense.
come from.
And like
basically.
the backgrounds, do you mean like the folk hero and that sort of thing?
Correct. Like the literal background that you choose on character creation in D&D, it's replaced by community, and the species are replaced by ancestries,
and
which have a lot of similarities, but there are like some there's some weird one. There's some very quirky one.
We'll have to
Like
dive
there
into
is
that.
one that is like some sort of like fungi creature.
Okay.
There are turtles. Obviously, there are the classic dwarves, elves, human, orcs.
The non-trademarkable ones, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah, yeah. There are some that are
Inspired?
inspired by. Like I think there is one that is kinda Goliath, but it's not really a Goliath.
Okay.
Well, it's not called Goliath,
Yeah, it would be called like something like
but it's
a
like a giant,
miniature giant.
Yeah, 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 something like that.
humongous human.
Yeah, like the miniature giants, space. What is it?
Humongoid.
No.
The miniature giant space hamster.
Yeah, the space hamster. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. So yeah, so like D&D level 1, when you create your character, you choose the ancestry and the community, and you choose your class, which is still called a class.
Yeah, okay.
The classes are pretty much the same.
Okay,
as
so like
D&D.
fighter, warlock, sorcerer, wizard.
Some of them have different names. Like there is no
Yeah, but
warlock,
it's exactly the same
but
function.
it's pretty much it's
Yeah.
very similar. There is the paladin, there is the cleric, there is the rogue. I think there is the ranger. I think the rogue is called
But
slightly
is there
different.
a warlock?
There is a functioning class similar to warlock, but it's
That's
not
very
called warlock.
important to me.
Yes, yeah, you only played warlock.
I only love playing warlock.
You
I tried
always
playing
play
everything else, but
warlocks.
warlock was the best one.
I am gonna make a prediction. My next character will be a warlock.
It's not really a prediction if you're making your own character.
Well, it is a prediction because you know why.
We cannot talk about that just yet.
Yes.
We're a year early.
Okay, so when you choose your class determines your HP, your evasion, which is basically your armor class.
Yeah.
The armor class of D&D is called evasion.
Okay. that's
You don't roll
interesting.
for damage.
Okay.
So when you roll to hit, based on, so it's important how high you roll.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
How high you roll for to hit, because that if it goes over your armor class, your evasion, then you take automatically damage.
Okay.
And you can take only, like, you have very few HP because you have like, there are like slots on the character sheet.
Okay.
So you have like just a few of them, and then you start
So it's more like hits rather than damage.
kind of.
Yeah,
Yes,
you just
it's more
get hits.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's an
yes.
interesting notion. I mean, I've always been a fan of the idea that armor class doesn't necessarily mean whether you miss or hit. It could be like hit and you kind of withstood it.
you
kinda, you know?
take the
Yeah,
blow,
you
yeah.
die after taking a lot of cuts, not that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I like the
it's
fact that
same
this is
concept.
explicitly said. Like this
Yeah.
is evasion. You're evading it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And obviously the evasion can be based both on dexterity or can be based on, like, there are some classes that just go by, having a very heavy armor on them, like paladins or fighter and that kind of things. But also there are classes like the ranger that have very high dexterity and base their evasion on that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So as I was saying, in the core version of the game, there are two decks of card for every class, and these are the domain cards, because the domain is basically your subclass.
I can assume, yeah.
And the domain cards are basically the abilities that you choose.
Okay.
So at first level, I believe you choose 2.
I'm assuming passive and active abilities kind of thing.
Yes, there are some of them that are passive,
Yeah.
some of them are active. And you keep stacking them. So you get 2 at level 1, and you get 1, you can pick one every level. But they are not all active. So you can have 5 active at the same time.
And can you swap them around?
And you can swap. Yeah, so basically you have your loadout are the 5 cards that are always active, and you can swap them around, I think, when you take a long rest.
Okay.
And the others go into your vault, which is like the rest of your abilities. But you can also choose to swap them around during a short rest, I believe. But you have some sort of penalty. Because I saw that there is also stress, which I did not understand exactly how it was the influence of stress on your character. But basically, I find out that if you want to swap your abilities during a short rest, or when you are not taking a long rest, like during the day, for example, if you need something, your character is going to take stress. I don't know how the stress mechanics exactly work, because I couldn't find much online.
Yeah.
But
But
and I've
yeah.
seen it in game. It's not very clear to me. I need to pay more attention to
We
that.
definitely have to delve into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
We need to get to the heart of it
Oh
a little
my
bit.
God.
Yeah, I have to. Come on, I have to. No, listen. But joking aside and puns aside, I do it on
That
purpose. I
hurts.
do
That
it on purpose.
hurt.
I swear. Listen, no, I mean, we definitely have to look into it a little bit
Yeah,
further. And I think
absolutely.
Daggerheart must be something that we should explore in the future. I mean, obviously, with the launch of this podcast with session one, we do have other projects coming up in the future.
Yeah.
Obviously, we cannot really reveal any of them just yet. It would be a little bit premature. However, like, I am not excluding a Daggerheart short playthrough
Yeah, why not?
because
Why
that would
not?
be
I
really
would love
interesting
that.
to see.
I
I
would
mean,
love
and
that.
as Pepe said, like the best, we actually were talking a little bit earlier, like the best thing to do to learn something, like to
Yeah,
learn something like
just play
just
it.
go ahead and play it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
absolutely. So yeah. So
Also, another thing
uh,
that Daggerheart makes very different from D&D, there is no initiative.
so how do you determine who goes first and stuff like
Well,
that?
that's the, to be honest, is my only real concern with Daggerheart. I don't like that system because basically, so players, it depends if if the players are surprised or not. So if the players are surprised, obviously the monster goes first. But basically, they decide their positioning on the map, and then players can go in any order they
Oh,
want.
okay.
So as I was saying, it makes for a good narrative because you can jump off each other actions. Now, when you make an action roll, now the action roll is basically the 2d12 roll. Okay, so when you want to attack or when you want to accomplish something, when you make an action roll, the dungeon master have the opportunity to make a monster action if you fail. If you succeed, someone else can continue going.
Okay.
So
It's an interesting system, and narratively, I can see how that can be cinematic.
yeah, it's very cinematic.
However, I do also have concerns about something like
Yeah.
that because you need to trust your players to be mature and good players, like sportsmen about it. You know, they need to have good sportsmanship. Because I think if you manage to find a system where you are able to cheese the game, like you find a combination,
That's another thing. That's
it's
not
very
really,
easy.
yeah, but that's not doable in Daggerheart.
It's not doable.
It's really hard to optimize in Daggerheart.
I'm liking the system even more, especially if I have to play with you.
It's really, really hard to build. Like, it's not a game made to make, like complicated builds. There's no such thing as a
Daggerheart
complex. That's one of the aspects that I think I would miss from D&D going into Daggerheart.
One of the things that Pepe failed to list in his credentials of being a D&D player is that he loves to optimize his characters,
Yes.
even though he denies it sometimes.
No.
When we're creating
Hold on.
characters and I'm telling him, listen, I'm hosting this game and I'm going to be the DM, he always says, no, I'm not going to make a min-maxing character. I'm not going to make a character which breaks the campaign, but he always does.
I never did. Let's point one. I don't min-max. Min-maxing is different than optimizing. Like, I pick some things.
In your case, it's the same thing.
So I'm just really
Potato,
good.
potato.
I'm just really good at making characters, guys.
And making me swear while playing them. Absolutely.
So
Daggerheart.
one thing about me is that I like to fuck with my dungeon masters. Like, I want to poke them because obviously, a dungeon master is by any mean all powerful.
Yes.
Like, in any moment, they can decide to send a super powerful monster and destroy you.
Exactly.
So I want to make it as hard as possible for them to try and kill my characters.
Yes, exactly. But I hear in certain campaigns where I am the DM and he's the player, there's a very abnormal high chance of being killed by a falling meteor. I refuse to elaborate.
Well,
Okay.
That's how dinosaurs ended. So I guess that can
And
happen to
I
me as well.
want to make you like the dinosaurs. I want to find a fossil of your player.
So yeah, so it's really hard in Daggerheart to optimize.
Yeah.
As in you can optimize, like you can choose things that
Yeah, of
goes with
course.
each other. Like, all the powers
Yeah.
are meant to go well with each other. And there is also something that I want to mention that Daggerheart does better than D&D is there is less of a divide between casters and marshals. Because in D&D,
Okay.
from a certain level onwards, like from level 5, 6, 7, the spellcasters start becoming incredibly powerful, and some of the marshals start struggling a little bit. Meanwhile, in Daggerheart, the divide is not equal, but the divide is a little bit smaller. But yeah, so it's hard to cheese that kind of thing, as you were saying in Daggerheart, because obviously there is a much higher chance that, when you try to do something super cool and super cinematic, the chances of failure are also pretty high.
Exactly, and they would be
also pretty high.
equally cinematic. Like
Yeah.
I love the fact of, like, narratively, when you're trying to do something so bombastically epic, it can just as bombastically and epically fail.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
and
you
there
end
is
up
fun
you
in
end up
failure.
dropping your sword or stabbing your friend instead. Like, it comes off as like, oh, you were too cocky about that kind of thing. And I love that about campaigns, and I love that about the plays that players can have. And I honestly, like, in my campaigns, I'm trying to introduce that narrative element. Like, okay, you can try to do whatever you want. Like, sometimes even if the rules don't technically allow it, like, you can try. Like, the rule of cool always works for me, but just as long as you know that you can just as equally fail.
Yeah,
And it'll
of
be just
course.
as equally cinematic.
Of course.
So yeah, so Daggerheart, obviously, I wish that we could talk about this for 6 hours.
Well,
but time
which
is
we
obviously
usually do.
pressing. We do.
That's
usually.
why we have a podcast, because we talk about D&D
exactly.
and things like Daggerheart, other games and stuff.
Exactly.
For fucking ever.
Yes.
We never
and
stop
Now
yapping.
you get to suffer as well with us.
You're welcome.
Usually just Jade who suffers. But anyway. Okay, so Daggerheart seems very interesting, and
One more thing
Yeah.
I need to mention about Daggerheart, because Darrington Press did something insane. Well, not insane. Did
I think I know
something
what you're
that
driving at.
a few months ago seemed insane.
Yes.
So apart from the talents that they already had,
Which were considerable.
yes, they just
Well,
should I say stole?
no, it's not, I don't think it's the right word. I think they offered a better opportunity.
No, I think the experience was over for Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins at Dungeons and Dragons after being there for almost 20 years, both of them.
Yes.
So let's give some context.
Yeah, to put it in context, basically, Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford, which were basically the two main drivers behind Dungeons and Dragons narrative.
5th edition.
Yeah, 5th edition.
Yeah.
And even before.
Even before,
and
Chris
before,
Perkins especially. Before 4th edition as well.
They have transferred themselves. They moved over to Darrington Press, the mind behind, the force behind Daggerheart. And I think it was a little bit of a surprise for all of us in the D&D community, because we never could imagine D&D without these two.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, but basically, we also kind of we're looking forward to it, because okay, here's the way I see it. D&D is what Perkins and Crawford made it nowadays.
Yes.
Okay. And I think, as you say rightly, that they have kind of explored all the different avenues that they could with this system. And I think going over to another system gives them a fresh challenge and a new perspective to take their expertise and their experience in creating role-playing games and creating the narrative behind such role-playing games, and move it onto a new system and a completely new universe, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because obviously in Daggerheart, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there is no Sword Coast. There is no...
Obviously,
because that is copyrighted to Dungeons and Dragons.
And
so
actually,
it's completely new. Does it have a universe in and of itself? Does it have a setting?
It does. I think there is in the core a book.
Yeah.
There is like a suggested setting.
Yeah.
But not really.
Yeah.
Like
so
you can literally make your own world.
That's amazing.
But actually, now Chris Perkins as creative director and Jeremy Crawford as game director, they are actually working on a setting specifically, which, from what I've heard, I've heard some interviews they had with Todd Kenreck, which recently left Dungeons and Dragons as well. So he started again on his YouTube channel doing interviews in the TTRPG world. That it's gonna be a pretty dark world, like we know they both love this Barovian, like this dark,
Yeah.
gloomy vibe. So that might be the vibe of the setting that they're
Yeah.
working on. But yeah, so
I think the fact that there is at least that I don't know of any established setting. Okay, so let me frame it in this way. I am a newcomer to this,
Yeah.
right? And I try to keep myself as a newcomer as possible to Daggerheart because I really want to experience it like from the get-go as if I was a new player, right? And I think the fact that I have not heard of any major system-related setting, I like that. I mean, it's good to have the settings there, Forgotten Realms and, and all that. It's amazing. But trying to jump into it 40 years in, 50 years after it started, it's very difficult. And also, so that's probably one of the main reasons why I wanted to go homebrew.
yeah.
And the ability to create my own universe and that sort of thing. So the fact that Daggerheart can lend itself to that system a lot easier, like to my play style a lot easier. I'm honestly like, I'm really inclined to delve into it, and if I'm going to start a future campaign in even private ones in the future, I think I would go for Daggerheart, but obviously there's a lot more research that needs to go into it. But yeah, I mean, Daggerheart seems amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it, and we definitely have to explore it further in this podcast, perhaps have a whole episode dedicated to it.
Absolutely.
But
It deserves it.
It does deserve it, I think, and maybe even create characters of our own and that sort of thing. But let's talk a little bit more on the Warcaster feat.
So
controversy now.
yes.
So Peppe,
That was
a few days ago. Let me just say that. So every 2 weeks, Peppe and I have this online meeting, which we ridiculously call the board of directors meeting.
Yes.
Ridiculous to us, but we love doing this. And it's usually
no, he loves doing this. I don't.
we do it very late at night.
I feel very uncomfortable when I see board of
Okay,
directors.
so I just said we do it very late at night, and you said you feel very uncomfortable when we do it. It's not as bad as it sounds, I can promise you. But basically, it's just a video call that we have once every 2 weeks. We talk about the project that we're doing, and we update each other. But he mentioned this Warcaster feat controversy, which at first, at face value, I said, it's just one of those rules as written versus rules as intended kind of things, and it's just semantics. But when he started talking a little bit about it, I was a little bit more interested in this and on the implications it can have on gameplay. So we're going back onto the D&D now, the D&D, shall we say 2024 edition versus the 4th edition 2014.
Yes, because the controversy came up because of the 2024 version of the Warcaster feat,
which was
so basically the YouTube channel Bonus Action published a video explaining a certain mechanic that would not work before with the Warcaster feat, but does work now, rule as written in the 2024 rules. So the Warcaster feat in the 2024 rules has a section that is called reactive spells, which says when a creature provokes an opportunity attack from you by leaving your reach, you can take a reaction to cast a spell at the creature rather than making an attack of opportunity. The spell must have a casting time of 1 action and must target only that creature.
Yes.
Now, so far, everything is normal.
Exactly.
The interaction that is particular is with the opportunity attack, because the opportunity attack in the new D&D rules does not contain the word hostile anymore, because before you could take an opportunity attack anytime a hostile creature left your reach. Now there is no hostile anymore. So whenever creature rule as written, when whatever creature, ally or enemy leaves your reach, you technically is causing an attack of opportunity from you.
Exactly. So let me play the newbie over here. What is the implication of that mechanically in game?
So mechanically, it means that even if an ally is leaving your space, you could perhaps use an attack opportunity to push them and grant them 5 more feet of speed,
or heal them.
Or no, but that's without the Warcaster. So without the Warcaster, you just take an attack opportunity and use the attack opportunity. Instead of attacking, you can just push and you grant them 5 more feet of speed. Let's say like someone is running towards
Throw
you
me.
and you just yeah like
Exactly.
a literal throw me kind of scenario.
Don't
With
tell
the
the elf.
Warcaster feat,
Yeah.
now the controversy is that the
Yeah.
Warcaster feat allows you to cast a spell on them
Exactly.
as they pass by you.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not technically an attack opportunity because
You're not really
your ally,
attacking. Yeah.
yeah, you're not attacking.
Yeah, but
You're just using an opportunity to
Yeah.
buff or cast a spell on your ally.
exactly. So this is the controversy. Like, should this mean that you can use a spell on an ally in the place of an attack of opportunity if you have the Warcaster feat? And that is the main crux of this. So I think it's best if we take the 2 points of the discussion that we always seem to have.
Yes.
What is your position on this? What do you think? Do you think you should? Do you think you shouldn't? Do you think like it's a good thing, a bad thing? What's your take on this?
So I love the idea. The idea sounds very cool. Also sounds a little bit broken
It can.
in the sense that, you know, looking from the perspective of an optimizer, I could think of a few spells that I would love to. Let's say I'm playing a cleric and I have the Warcaster feat,
Yeah.
and I see my barbarian charging, or my fighter or my paladin charging into battle, and he's passing by me. I could decide to heal them before they go into battle. So I could just tap them and cast, I don't know, a 6th level Cure Wounds,
Yeah.
and give them a ton of hit points before they go back into the
Yeah.
fray. Let's say like we are mid-combat. So obviously I'm casting an extra spell outside of my round, which is always good. You know, it's good for you know the action economy.
Yeah,
you are,
action
you are
economy is
expanding on
absolutely
your
in your
action
favor.
economy.
Yeah.
That said, it's still costing you your reaction. It's still costing you a spell slot.
That's the thing.
So it has you know, its reward and its
absolutely.
cost.
And that is precisely my position in this. Like, I am not exactly against using beneficial spell like buffs and healing spells and that sort of thing on an ally as an attack of opportunity, because I think it expends your resources a little bit faster.
Yes.
Now, if you're doing this, it depends on the context. Of course, obviously, if you're going to allow it once, you're going to allow it forever in your campaign. It's not one of those things where you say, okay, in this context, yes, in this context, no.
It's either gonna be a thing or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think I would allow this in my campaign because I like players to have the liberty to kind of play whichever way they want. I know, but also keep in mind.
You sure about it?
Keep in mind that this is very specifically beneficial to close range melee casters. Can you expect a long range healer, for example, which usually would be at the back of the fighting line rather than at the front, for a barbarian to take movement back and movement forward to kind of do this? So there's also like this thing, like, okay, so the positioning of the players, of the characters matters. The resources available to them matter. Like, do you want to expend all your resources now in the beginning of the fight, for example, or do you want to conserve them later on? If it's a boss fight, if it's a boss fight that I have crafted, it's definitely going to have multiple phases and it's going to be quite long-winded.
Yeah, consuming your resources.
Exactly, that is how I introduce the level of difficulty in my campaigns. Not necessarily by hitting you hard or being able to hit you often.
Yeah, they're
It's
just wearing
chipping
you
away.
off.
Yeah, wearing you off. And like for those of you who used to follow us back then during the Clioth arc of the previous campaign that we used to actually publish on this channel.
Actually, for new people, before we had an actual live
Yeah.
that went on for a couple of years.
2 years. Yeah, we did it for 2 years. The boss fights with the magma elemental,
Yeah,
and then the
that was
gauntlet with
pretty
the
long.
I think was it with the mind witnesses, I think it was, and then with the final Ulitharid or whatever the fuck it was.
Illiterate.
Horclorth, his name was. Like the whole thing, it was designed to chip away at players, and in fact, some of the players, the newer ones especially, they kind of like, oh, special, and they got to the last phase and like, oh shit, what do we do now? And I think having this sort of thing can be both beneficial for the players and also a trap. I think for the more
Yes.
experienced players, they can very well utilize it a little bit better.
So
Newer
I
players
think
might abuse it a little bit.
that's the point.
Yeah.
As a newbie, you might not even realize that this connection works.
Yeah.
You might not have the nuance of reading through and saying, this doesn't say that it has to be a hostile creature. This doesn't say that it has to be an enemy.
Yeah.
But because I do know my players,
Yeah.
especially the youngsters that I was talking about
Yeah.
before, I've taught them well. They know how to exploit stuff. And I am sure that they would use that a lot.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, imagine, okay, maybe it's not your fighter, but imagine if it's your monk, which has a ton of maneuverability on the battlefield and has all the speed that he wants to
Yeah.
go up and down. And imagine he's passing by, instead of a cleric, he's passing by a wizard, and the wizard just tap him and cast haste on him. Now you have a
That's true.
hasted monk with doubled speed and an extra attack and a +2 to AC, and that's just a reaction.
I think, yeah, I know it is overpowered when you put it in that context, and I agree with you,
You know,
in that regard. And I think it's going to become, I think it's going to be down to every dungeon master to decide whether they want to adopt it in this campaign, just like for many other like home rules kind of thing. I think it also enables the use of certain combinations that players want to see in play,
Yeah.
which makes it cool.
Yes,
And
actually,
which,
it makes it very
which
cool.
would typically not be viable.
Yeah, no,
because of
will
like
not be super
initiative
easy.
orders.
Yeah, will not be super easy.
Yeah.
For certain things to happen.
Yes.
And to be honest, that was part of the controversy.
Yeah.
Because the controversy is born from the fact that from the bonus action channel posting this video, we had responses from almost any major YouTuber,
Yes.
D&D content creator.
Yes.
Uh,
Which now also includes us.
which now includes us.
Minor though, not major.
Minor.
Fair enough.
So Triens Monk
Yeah.
responded. D&D Shorts, Will from D&D Shorts responded. D&D D4 D&D Deep Dive responded.
Yes.
And obviously they
Dungeon
had
Dudes, yeah.
different positions
Yeah.
about it. Some of them they were pro, some of them were against. Not necessarily against,
Yeah.
but they were like highlighting how it can not necessarily break the game,
It
but
can be
makes,
abused. Yeah, it
can be abused a little
Yeah.
bit. Now, the conclusion to this, because
Yeah.
we kind of have a conclusion to this, came
Yeah.
when the Dungeon Dudes published their video, which is now, I think, about a week and a half ago.
From
From
the
the
moment
moment we're
yeah.
recording, yes. In which Monty and Kelly, the Dungeon Dudes,
Yeah.
by the way, if you are watching us and you don't watch the Dungeon Dudes,
What are you doing, man?
really? Go watch the Dungeon Dudes. Then come back and watch us as well. But,
Yes,
yeah,
but first watch the Dungeon
yeah,
Dudes.
watch the Dungeon Dudes. They're fantastic. They're amazing. So yeah, Monty and Kelly, they have the reach to do that kind of
Yes.
things. They have the
One
name to do that kind of things. So they actually
Yeah.
invited two of the main designer, now main designer.
Yeah, the heirs to Crawford and Perkins.
And
yeah.
Perkins. So Mackenzie de Armas and Justice Arman, which are both now lead designers
Yeah.
for D&D 5th edition. And they invited them to actually know what was their
Contribute, yeah.
position on the matter.
Yeah.
So they've actually analyzed the 2014 version and the 2024 version,
Uh-huh.
and they have established at the end, they have said that it was a choice, was a voluntary choice, the removal of the was not enemy, was like a hostile creature word from there.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to give freedom to the dungeon master to choose which creature might be hostile in any moment, and which creature might be an ally, which creature might be completely neutral. Because
Absolutely.
someone might be not an ally and not hostile at the same time.
I have just thought of something that could cinematically have quite an interesting application in this regard. Like, say, for example, you have an NPC who's friendly towards you, right? Like you've had in the past in my campaigns, like friendly NPCs which are unassuming, innocent looking, and you're there to help them and recover.
Fuck you, Kurt. I have trauma, okay?
Recover their farm, right, from cultists.
We all have trauma.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Jared the farmer.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Jared the farmhand, actually. And
Let's not talk about that anymore.
Imagine in this context, like, for example, your player would be rushing past this character.
Yeah.
Triggering this attack of opportunity. Say they're a Warcaster and of some sort, maybe not Jared back then, but and instead of helping you, attacking you, and blindsiding you with that. If I were in that situation as a DM, I would impose advantage on that NPC because cinematically speaking, that would be
Yeah,
fucking
no,
cool.
absolutely. 'Cause-
And-
okay, but
that's
that
the
was
thing.
that was
Yeah,
a
that's a very-
betrayal. Obviously,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
that's a betrayal.
clearly
So
like
that's
a
my point. Like this
betrayal.
can work both in favor of the players as
Uh-huh.
well as in opposition, because obviously the enemy creatures can do
Yeah, they
this
can do the
as
same.
well.
They can
You
do the
can
same.
have, yeah, they can do the same.
Clearly. So yeah, the final position of the designers was exactly this
Yeah.
one. Was like, first of all, obviously, if you can use it as a player, you can use it as a dungeon master as well. So if it's gonna be in favor of the monsters, of the creature, of the enemy spellcasters as
Yeah.
well, because they will have the chance to do that.
Absolutely.
But the intent behind that was also to leave the freedom to the dungeon master to choose at each table if you would like to allow it, if you think is a good idea, and if it works for your players.
Yeah.
Maybe your players don't want that kind of interaction. Maybe they want to play like, the most simple version of D&D possible.
Maybe they're all
And-
melee players, non-casters.
Exactly. Maybe you have a group of all barbarians,
Yeah.
of all fighters.
Yeah.
So yeah, the intent was to remove the word hostile, to give freedom
Yes.
to the dungeon master, and also to give freedom to the players to do something cool. Because in the end, it's cool.
Yes.
It's a nice, and it's something that you can envision. Like you can see your friend passing by and
Yes, and
tapping them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
you
That's
know.
fucking
So
cool.
I think it's a cool narrative.
That's one of the things that, as I said, I would allow on my campaign just because it looks cool and it gives a good cinematic, like, value to that action. And I think it's going to be one of those things where in 75% of the cases, it's really not going to matter that much. You know, it's very situational in my opinion, because you have to make sure that you pass by your,
You just wait.
you just pass by, and I will make sure that you're rooted in place all the time. But I think would be interested to see if what the community thinks in general, like moving forward. So if you're actually watching this and you were brave enough to stay till this part, let us know what you think.
Yeah, would you as a
let
player,
it?
would you want these in your campaign, and as a dungeon master, would you allow
it.
this?
Exactly. I would say allow this. I think you would say allow it, but in your specific campaigns, not.
Yeah,
I think that's your position.
Maybe of the two campaigns that I'm running, maybe in one I would allow it because I know that they would not probably abuse it. In the other one, maybe they would abuse it a little bit. So yeah, I would be a bit more wary to allow it.
Yeah.
in the other one.
So we'll leave it up to you, and then eventually we're going to have a look and see.
So yeah,
what.
moving on.
Yeah. So now moving on to our final topic of this podcast, and I think the one that we're very excited to talk about, but also I think it's good to give a little bit of context as to why we're talking about this and how we managed to schedule all of this around. Because disclaimer, this first episode was supposed to air on the 16th of October.
Yes.
So that was going to be our first, it's
launch
October,
date.
we have a podcast now. But then we realized and we learned that the Critical Role Campaign 4 is launching on the 2nd
of October.
which
Pretty
would
early.
be-
Earlier
which
than we
would be
expected.
2 weeks before our first podcast.
Yes.
And we're like, okay, we want to talk about it, but it seems a little bit nonsensical to move our predictions a week after they launched, 2 weeks after they launched it, a week after it went public.
Yeah.
So predictions didn't seem quite interesting, and obviously neither of us can actually read the feature, so we can't really talk about the episode.
I mean, talk for yourself.
Yet, so
talk
far.
for yourself.
Wait, we should use that for good later on. But so what we did, logistically, we moved this first episode a little bit here, which is something I always wanted to do because I really want this to start.
He wanted to do these since months. I was like, no, we decided the date, and then I actually gave him the excuse because I said, hey, listen, we might have troubles with, talking about D&D Campaign 4 because like 2 episodes will be out already by the time we publish
I just
it.
realized that we never actually discussed the way this podcast is going to work in terms of format, but regardless, we're going to be uploading this once a month. That's the idea. Like the last Thursday of the month, I think we said we're going to be publishing this podcast. But in certain exceptional cases, such as this one, we're also going to have, we're calling them like 0.5 episodes. Like they're going to be short episodes
episode
1.5. Episode 1.5 that we're going to be talking about the stuff that happened in the campaign. So we're going to have a follow-up episode to the Critical Role Campaign 4, our takes on it, our not reactions like live reactions, but like what we think of it and that sort of thing.
Also live reaction. By the time we watch, I mean, when they go live, here where we are located in Malta is like about 4 in the morning. So
Yeah,
there
and
will never be a live reaction.
I
on
don't have
Critical
any
Role.
vacation leave
Yeah,
left
yeah,
to take, and I wish I could.
yeah.
So yeah,
So campaign 4 of Critical Role is
Yeah.
gonna start, as we said, on it's gonna launch on October 2nd,
which is a
2025.
Thursday, right? Yeah, I
It's a
believe
Thursday. Is it Thursday yet?
It's always a Thursday.
Of course. So obviously it's gonna launch on Beacon, on YouTube, on Twitch. Beacon is the
Yeah.
Critical Role
Platform.
Yeah. Critical Role and Twitch. YouTube and Twitch on the Critical Role channel. The VODs, so
The
if you
video on
cannot
demand,
watch
yeah.
it live, is gonna be available the following Monday,
Yeah,
and that's when we are probably gonna be able to watch it.
yeah.
But there is a lot of news about campaign 4.
Yes, I think the biggest news that there was, and the one that is
I'm so happy about it.
I am very happy about it as well.
so
I'm nostalgic,
excited.
don't get me wrong. It is okay, let's talk about it. Is having Brennan Lee Mulligan as the
As
DM,
the Dungeon Master.
not Matthew Mercer. So for like Critical Role as a channel has a lot of different campaigns with different dungeon masters, but the main one has always been Matthew Mercer for the main.
Yeah, like for
Critical
the
Role
main campaign, it was only Matthew Mercer.
For the Vox Machina, for Mighty Nine, for
Bell's
Hells. Yeah, so having Brennan Lee Mulligan, the official DM for the official campaign of Critical Role, was something straight out of left field.
Huge.
Was something huge and something that I'm honestly looking forward to, but a little bit nostalgic as well. Like I was thinking about it earlier today, just before we prepared for this podcast, and I was kind of comparing it to the Doctor Who regenerations kind of thing.
Okay.
You know, so it's like, okay, I love this DM, I love this Doctor, but the next one looks so cool.
Yeah, the next one
up until Capaldi, but we don't talk about D&D over this Doctor Who over anymore.
More controversial about more things, okay?
Yeah. So seeing Matthew Mercer in the role of a player,
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy about it. Because,
Matthew Mercer deserves the word.
He does.
He's a fantastic human being. I met him in person once.
We'll talk about it as well, because I'm extremely jealous of you for that.
I am so happy for him because he deserves to play.
He deserves.
And Brennan Lee Mulligan is such a great dungeon master. And I mean, okay,
you can feel like we're fanboying about all of this now.
God, I have goosebumps.
Me too, honestly.
So Brennan Lee Mulligan is gonna be the dungeon master, and that's not the only news. Because the news is that the cast, first of all, people was afraid that the main cast of Critical Role was not gonna join for campaign 4, because they have spoken multiple times about bringing new people. Last year in the last 3 years, in campaign 3 they have brought on Robbie Damon, my long lost sibling.
Please let us know, because this has been a bone of contention between us for years. I've always been calling Peppe like the what we used to call it back then, the Wish version of Robbie Damon. Okay. And lately, in one of our hangouts with some friends which we're working on a project with for future stuff, they actually confirmed.
Yeah, there was a guy that had never met me before.
Yes.
And he just came up to me and was like, did someone ever told you that you look like Robbie Damon?
And I had just said that like 5 minutes later, and he was like, no. You think I would have cut my hair if I was like that? And I was right.
Yeah.
Once again, I was right.
Last year, in the last campaign, they brought on Robbie Damon. And many creators were afraid that some people from the main cast would leave the table.
Yes.
Because in favor of new players. Meanwhile, we got the cake and we could eat it too.
In a way,
I mean, we are gonna have 13 people cast in Critical Role. So we're gonna have the main players that have been there all along. So we have Matthew Mercer as a new player, because he has played in some one shots and some,
even in the World of Exandria.
In the World of Exandria, yes, absolutely. In mostly in EXU, in various episodes of EXU. So Matthew Mercer is a new player. Then we have Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, Marisha Ray, Taliesin Jeffrey, Liam O'Brien, Ashley Johnson, and Sam Riegel.
Yeah.
So the main cast.
Yeah.
But then we have some returning players, people that have
Exactly.
played with them already, like Luis Carasso,
Yeah.
which was there already in Exandria Unlimited Calamity. Amazing. Listen, the best piece of live play D&D I've ever seen. Exandria Unlimited Calamity is incredibly good.
Yes.
And Luis Carasso is one of the main reasons why it's so good. Like his character Xerxes, which by the way, I don't know if you know this, but they have included him already in the Vox Machina anime.
I am very ashamed to say I haven't watched it yet.
God, it's so good.
It's on my bucket list.
But yeah, so Xerxes, his character from EXU, Exandria Unlimited Calamity,
Yeah.
is actually in an episode of The Legend of Vox Machina.
Yeah.
When they go to hell.
Okay.
And is in hell from spoilers for something that came out
We'll see.
last
We'll
year.
see.
So Luis Carasso is gonna be there.
Who else? Robbie Damon.
Robbie Damon
Yeah.
is returning. Fan favorite,
He
by
is
the
amazing.
way. Everybody loved him. He's such a great guy.
Yes, because he's very versatile as a role player. He can be kind of like this goofy character.
He's very
like,
funny.
A little bit charismatic. Obviously, he was playing
Playing a bard. Yes, he's playing a bard.
But also, like in moments when it needed to be serious, he could really be serious about it and very dramatic about it. Which obviously, yes, I mean, these people are professionals. Like, let's not kid ourselves. They're
exactly.
not like random people
They're
off the streets.
actors,
Like, you know what? I'm a
voice
carpenter. Let me
actors.
try. Yeah.
Exactly.
So these are voice actors. They're performance artists.
No, absolutely incredible.
Yes, but he's very versatile, and I honestly really enjoyed him in campaign 3. Really enjoyed
his
it. And
character. Dorian Storm was a fantastic character. The
synergy,
backstory,
the synergy with the different characters, amazing.
Incredible. Then we have another returning player for Critical Role. I mean, returning as a play. Yeah, actually, she did play in campaign 3 as well. Abria Iyengar. Obviously, Abria has DM'd for Critical Role in Exandria Unlimited.
Yes.
And she has also played in campaign 3, in which she played, I don't know if you saw up until that part, but she played a love interest of Chetney, Travis Willingham.
I
character.
remember. Yes, Chetney. I know of. No, I haven't watched that.
Yeah. So she played an ex of Chetney, because Chetney is famously
Chetney's
very
amazing.
old.
Chetney is amazing.
Yeah. So Abria Iyengar, again,
I love Chetney.
incredible performer.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion. Of all the DMs of Exandria, she's my least favorite.
I mean, to be quite honest, I mean,
I love her as a player. As a player, I enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
As a dungeon master, I think she tweaks the rules a little bit too much for my liking.
Fair enough. That's a fair assessment to say.
It's just my personal...
That's a fair assessment to make. And I mean, to be fair, like, following after Matthew Mercer and his like... It's a very tough act to follow.
It's a tough... Let's
face it.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's very difficult to follow up on something.
Yeah, no. She's great, and again in Exandria Unlimited Calamity, her character is incredible. Like I like her as a player a lot, so I'm very very happy that she is there as a player.
I'll have to admit I might agree with you on that one.
And then we have two. Well, actually, no. We have Alexander Ward, which is another returning player, because he has also played in one of the. It's not a one shot. It's like a 3-episode thing that Brennan Lee Mulligan DM'd on the Critical Role channel, and he played a very interesting character, which was a white dragonborn. Like some sort of, I think he was a monk, but like a strength-based monk, like a huge character, a huge dude. And he is actually famous for playing monstrous characters a lot. But Alexander Ward is mostly known in the TTRPG world for playing LA by Night, which is a Vampire the Masquerade roleplay that they do, I believe, on Geek and Sundry. I'm not sure if they're still on Geek and Sundry, but they used to be on Geek and Sundry like Critical Role.
Yeah, everything started on Geek and Sundry.
Yes.
It's like Felicia Day started that.
Yeah.
And...
What a fucking intuition to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And while we're at it, I think like the popularization of D&D nowadays is thanks to Geek and Sundry. Like they started it all. Like, yes, Stranger Things helped and Big Bang Theory helped. But I think the core following
Yeah,
of
the core
D&D
following.
nowadays is started from Critical Role back on Geek and Sundry
Absolutely,
times.
absolutely.
And but speaking of those times, actually, with the campaign 1 of Critical Role, that team actually have artwork right there
Uh-huh,
on
on
the
Kid
wall
Bus.
behind the camera,
Uh-huh.
signed by Kid Boss, which we
Amazing.
got last May at MCM London. I managed to snag one of the copies, and I managed to have
Nice.
her signed. And I also there's also those two artworks by
Yeah,
Kid Boss
that's from
from the first
that's
campaign
Pike
as well. That's
and
Pike
what's the other
and
one?
Vex and Vox.
I can't see it from here,
Because
but
that's
yes,
behind
yeah.
the library. And I also have another Percy, and that's Percy over there
The
as
Percy
well.
over there
Percy,
is
it's a limited run. But anyway, we'll show them some
so
other
sexy.
time.
Percy Valderone.
But yeah, I mean, it's thanks to them that all of this geekdom started. And
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Felicia Day.
Thank you, Felicia Day.
And thank you. I always listen. I've asked some question to the cast of Critical Role when I went to the MCM Comic Con to meet them.
That's a story on its own, man.
But wait, I saw now next time I will go to see them because I will go. There's no doubt that I will find them somewhere and I will go. I need to go up to the microphone and thank Liam O'Brien. Because Liam O'Brien is the reason why... Oh, sorry. Is the reason why all these exist. Is the reason why we are doing this right now. Because Liam O'Brien was the person that was obsessed about D&D when he was a child.
Yeah.
And he spoke about it with Sam Riegel in a podcast that they had way before Critical Role. And then he asked Matthew Mercer to DM for them and they put together that group of people.
Yeah.
So literally is the reason why all these movement around Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPG in general like snowballed from this random dude in LA that wanted to play D&D with his friends.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's
insane.
insane.
I want to
work.
I want him to think about it for a moment. I'm sure he does already.
Yeah, but
I'm sure he's aware of that.
This is your doing kind of thing. Like
100%.
You are responsible for this.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's no secret. Like personally, that Liam O'Brien is my favorite. Like member of cast.
Great role player. The depth of character that he
remember
builds.
when they still used to do like the Signal Interrupted series of things?
Yes,
remember them?
Yes.
Like a one-on-one interview about their like origins and like how they learned their craft and stuff like that.
Yes.
I must have watched the Liam O'Brien one like 100
Between the
times.
Sheet. It was called Between the Sheet.
No, that was Signal Interrupted. I think it was way back on Geek and Sundry.
On Geek and Sundry. I thought on the Critical Role.
No, on Geek and Sundry.
Okay.
Yeah, and they used to kind of talk about like how they became who they are and that sort of thing. But yeah, I must have watched that one like 100 times. So yeah, who else is left on the cast?
One more member, which is the first new member, which is Whitney Moore, which is new to as a player in Critical Role, but she has been also a long time D&D player.
Yeah.
She's an actor, writer, host, and actual play performer because she also play in Vampire the Masquerade LA by Night with Alexander Ward. I have never seen her playing actually, but I've heard very positive things. And I saw her because recently, I think she was at San Diego Comic Con. She was the host at the panel for Critical Role.
One day, man. One day we'll be there.
Amen,
one day.
Brother.
It's impossible to get there from Malta.
Amen.
Anyway,
so yeah, this is
13 players. And now,
13
obviously,
players.
now we have to talk a little bit about this, but like 13 players, it's impossible to have 13 people around the table.
Yes.
How's it going to work?
So obviously the structure of the game is gonna be different.
Yeah.
First of all, one big question that everybody had, and actually we had in our group chat, was: are they gonna go with Daggerheart or they're gonna continue with D&D?
I think they're going to go with,
and they're gonna go with D&D.
I think that
continue with D&D, and actually they are gonna update because until campaign 3 they were on 2014 because obviously it started before the core books of 2024 edition came out. So now they're switching to 2024, which I'm super happy about.
I am as well. I think it's about damn time that we have some 2024 action.
There was a ton of improvement, a ton of things that have changed in the 2024 edition, which made it way better than the 2014 edition.
Yes.
Much more balanced, a little bit less broken in certain cases, and a lot of...
and it also needs a lot more content right now.
Yes, yes.
It's quite dry.
Yes, it is
at
a
the
bit
moment.
dry. This year, Wizard of the Coast
Don't get me wrong.
struggled a little bit.
Don't get me wrong. For
getting out,
DMs who
rolling out
create their own
stuff.
thing, the homebrew stuff, it's perfect. Like for us, for me personally, I got the 3 main books. The Monster Manual,
Yeah.
Dungeon Master Guides, and the Player's Handbook. I'm set. But having that content, at
Yeah.
least it gives you inspiration to create new things, and we
Yes,
need that. We
absolutely.
definitely need that. So I'm glad that they are actually showcasing this. They're playing this in 2024
Yes.
campaign, because it will create that line of new players, of new DMs who will take inspiration from their work using the new rule set.
And talking about that, they're not only gonna go with D&D 5th edition, they are also, some of the players, spoilers, they have spoiled.
Yeah.
That some of them are gonna play homebrew classes, homebrew subclasses created by Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, which now are right next door to them because they work at Darrington Press.
So that's going to be super interesting. Like, this takes me back to the campaign one of Critical Role. Again, we're mentioning them a lot, I know, but obviously we have to. Like when we had Percy as the gunslinger.
Yes.
That is amazing. Honestly, I think it's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, these subclasses.
To be honest, if you think about it, Taliesin has never played an official class.
So Taliesin played.
He played. I mean, class, yes, subclass.
Subclass, yeah.
In campaign 2, he did not play an official class because he started as a blood hunter.
Yes, that is true.
As Mollymock. Then obviously Mollymock left the game. No spoilers. I'm gonna cry. Okay. My favorite, all-time favorite player in Critical Role, Mollymock. But then he played a cleric with Caduceus Clay.
Yeah.
And in campaign 3, also is barbarian. It's a homebrew subclass that Matt made for him.
Yes.
So maybe this year he's gonna play a subclass made by Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford.
I would be very surprised if he did not.
Yeah. I think he's gonna go for
and
that.
we do have some predictions for some of the. At least, I mean, we do have predictions for what
some
characters might be
yeah.
played, and I think this is one of them. One which we both can agree on.
Yeah.
I think Taliesin Jaffe playing a homebrew subclass would be on our bingo list.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Homebrew class, 100%. And imagine like now Brendan Lee Mulligan can create like homebrew item and go to Chris Perkins and say, "What do you think about it?"
Yes, like you have
that's insane.
It's like literally talking to the gods who created your universe.
Yeah.
And like, you know what, I created this. Like, what do you think?
Yeah. That's it. That's
it is
fantastic.
The potential there is insane.
Yeah. So the setting obviously is not gonna be Exandria.
Yeah.
Because there has been major changes in Exandrian history by the end of campaign 3. So the new universe, which I believe is gonna be, if not effectively a continuation of the history of Exandria after X amount of years, is gonna be let's say a non-canonical continuation, because the continent of Araman, which is going to be the world in which the campaign 4 will happen, it's a brand new world created by Brennan Lee Mulligan, but it's a brand new world in which very similar things happened in history.
Okay.
As in, at a certain point, there was a schism.
Okay.
The gods and the mortals fought each other, and some of the gods died.
Yeah.
So that's what we know about Araman so far.
So let me get this straight. So do you think this is going to be like Exandria X years or X eons after what happened? So the knowledge of Exandria has been lost, so now it's being
this
called
is the
something
thing.
else? Or do you think it's going to be like in the same universe, in the same like when we're talking about like multiverse and sort of thing, like in the same universe, but like a different planet, for example, or something like that?
I am not sure. I do feel that there is going to be, because this is 70 years before.
Oh, before.
The mortals rose up to overthrow the gods.
Okay.
I don't think it's long enough to cancel completely the culture of Exandria.
Unless something mystical happens and there was
such a cataclysm that destroyed everything, and
including knowledge base and everything. I mean, speaking as a DM myself and someone who builds worlds, and I love the world that I've built. obviously it's not the same DM now. So like Matthew Mercer created
Yeah.
Alexandria, and
By the way, I think Matt would have done the same. I think at a certain point he would have pressed the reset button and say, okay,
I
let's
think
start
a reset button
new.
needs to be pressed eventually, and even in my homebrew setting, eventually there has to be a reset button. Eventually, 20 years from now,
I'm gonna press it.
you're going
I'm gonna
to
be
be the
one
button.
pressing the button.
You're going to be the button. No, but I think having to say goodbye to all the lore, to all the settings, to all the places, to all the people you created, to all the civilizations, I think that's something that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Because there's an
letting
emotional
go of
connection to
things.
it.
Yeah.
Letting go to it, and I think maybe this is going to be easier to do because it's not the same DM.
Yeah.
But also the viewers watching, the audience of Critical Role, having to say goodbye to Exandria. I think that if it is not Exandria, like in the
If it's not like a continuation of
yeah,
Alexandria.
I think that's going to be. I think it's going to require a little bit more supply of napkins to wipe away tears, kind of.
Yes, probably, and I think probably changing the DM is gonna make
Makes
it
it
easier
because
for
you're not
the audience as well.
associating it,
Because you're not gonna see Matthew Mercer DMing in a different world.
Yeah.
You're gonna see Matthew Mercer as a player and Brennan introducing his own
That
world.
being said, I'm really looking forward to seeing like first and foremost a new setting
Yes,
and Brennan
which by the way,
yeah, as a
hey,
DM.
listen, when I think a year ago or something like that, there was a fireside chat between Brennan, Abria, and Matt, in which Brennan said he has never published a module.
Yeah.
Because obviously the words that he creates in Dimension 20 are much more self-contained because they are shorter run campaign. And he said, one day I will want to publish a module with my own setting.
Yeah.
I mean, Darrington Press has the power
they
to
do have the
make
resources and
Araman,
power,
exactly,
and
has the resource to do
I think they
that.
can be very well sister universes kind of thing. And even if they're not the same thing, like in the future, I think we can see a campaign or like a one shot or whatever, which kind of crosses the multiverse boundary, and you have like crossovers.
It might.
So it could be a thing in the future.
I wouldn't.
There's a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go crossover again because they already had a in campaign 3 they had a crossover between campaign 1, campaign 2, campaign 3.
But that's within the same setting.
I mean, within the same timeline as well. So
no, what I'm saying is like different settings, like
I mean,
maybe
we'll have to see if it's actually a continuation of Exander, because obviously if the world ended at a certain point, that was
so this is a prediction that we need to make. Like, do you think it's going to be a continuation of Exandria or not? Like, having discussed this, I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, I feel.
I wish it were, but I don't think it's going to be.
I feel like sentimentally it is, in the sense that, same chain of events that brought to that, but I think it's gonna be something separated, on its own. I think it's gonna be its own thing.
Let's move on to predictions about a few players, because unfortunately we're running out of time soon. We'd love to stay here for another 4 hours,
a lot,
almost 2 hours now by my calculation. So let's see. Okay, so we already
by the way, sorry, before we go for the prediction, I just want to add one more thing that is key to the campaign. Obviously 13 players.
Is it critical? Roll?
Is critical.
To this.
Cut.
No, we're not cutting editing any of this at all.
Unfortunately, we're not cutting this out. So obviously 13 players at the table is going to be challenging.
Yes.
They're not the first 4 episodes. They're gonna see all the 13 players at the table.
Not at the same time.
At the same time.
13 players around the table. Brennan has got much larger balls than anyone in the world.
Yes. Made of steel, probably.
Stainless.
So it's gonna be an overture. The first 4 episodes is gonna be an overture to introduce all the characters and the setting. Man. And then from the 4th episode onwards, or at least this is what they have said so far. I don't know, maybe I misinterpreted, but I do believe they have 13 players at the same time. Think of the combat.
It would be so Brennan if for the first encounter he would just have like one enemy against 13 players. Just
piling up on the enemy. So after the first 4 episodes, the group will be split in 3 other groups.
Like factions, if you like.
Not necessarily faction, but he described it as like thematically.
Okay.
So the three group I'm trying to find is gonna be soldiers, seekers, and schemers.
That's interesting. So just from the names of it, like kind of the soldiers, obviously the fighter kinds, the dungeon crawlers, if you want. Like
Yeah, the one that are more like combat
oriented,
focus.
yeah.
The seekers is gonna be the one
Lore,
that are
I
more
would assume.
interested. Yeah,
Yeah.
lore and knowledge
Yeah.
and and all this kind of thing. And the schemers are gonna be the one playing intrigue and
Yeah.
political kind of game.
Here's the thing. I think this is an interesting concept and it can work very well. And I'm sure it will work very well. I mean, this is a critical role. Of course, it's gonna work very well.
Yeah.
But like if I had to look at it objectively, without excluding the fact that they are critical role, say if we were to do it, for example, something like this, it can go very well because you're obviously kind of shall we say subgrouping your players into the way they're going to function.
Yeah.
But also it can backfire quite as easily because I think a good and balanced D&D party lends itself best to the narrative aspect of it, in the sense that you can have people who are fighters, you can have people who are scheming, and you can have people who are kind of in there for the knowledge of it. And like not having two of those aspects in a group is going to be interesting to see in play, unless I have it all wrong and they're going to be like all mix and match.
So this is going to be the theme. Yeah, like your idea is actually correct in the sense that it wouldn't make sense to have all the ones that
fighters,
wants
yeah,
to,
yeah.
and they're not going to be divided by class.
Okay.
Like as in not all the barbarians, paladins, fighters, rogues
In one group,
in
yeah.
one group is gonna be more like what's your preference
Yeah,
as a player.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about
And
it
no,
like
no,
in terms of classes.
Yeah, no, I understood that.
Yeah.
But obviously there will be being now the other news of the campaign for is gonna be a West March kind of campaign. So which works basically there is gonna be a small group of players which is gonna go in a direction, another group in another direction, another group in another direction, and then when their paths cross, they will be swapping.
Oh, that's
So as
interesting.
the story gets more intricated,
Interesting.
some of the players will move from one group to the other.
That's interesting.
So that there is,
I love
because
that.
obviously having 13 players.
Yeah,
imagine
it's insane
imagine
to manage.
scheduling a game for regular people like us. It's already hard.
Yeah.
Imagine scheduling a game with 13 players for
Yeah.
a bunch of Hollywood, LA people that
exactly.
works in video games
Yeah.
and works in shows and works in. That would be insane.
I
So-
agree, absolutely. I think that something like that is going to be very interesting to see. And honestly, like I'm kind of intrigued. Here's the thing, like as a side note, like on a personal note, like my life is finally settling down a little bit with all the moving and the place and everything. Like this has been a huge thing on its own. So I am kind of inclined to watch it at 4 a.m. in the morning and then
Wow.
go to work.
Wow.
How long do you usually stream for? Like 4 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours, 4 hours. Depends from the session. Sometimes 5.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, it will be until morning.
yeah. So
basically.
it's very difficult for us to do, but there will be a couple of times where I will want to do that.
Hey, listen, they do a
Definitely.
replay. I think as soon as it ends, they replay
that's
it
work.
on Twitch, and then another one like after a few hours. If
yeah.
you're at work, you can just put
Put it in a podcast. Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I mean, we listen to music at work and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But like my point is that I am finally again at a point where I can feel like I want to get invested
Yeah.
full time into this sort of
in
thing.
a 5-hour thing a
yeah,
week that
yeah,
you can watch.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not easy. It's not easy.
So-
But yeah, so the aim of Brennan is saying, yeah, I'm gonna divide them into their favorite kind of
Yeah.
things, but then by the end of the campaign, I want everyone to have played a little bit of everything, so you can have the
Yeah.
full experience,
Yeah,
even
and-
though you played mostly your favorite thing.
Yeah, and I can
know?
imagine like for like shall we say what do they call it in the Loki series, like the critical moments in like in a timeline or whatever. What do they call it? I can't remember what they're called. Jade, help me out. We can't remember. We're blanking. Yeah, like when the timelines, like the set points
Intersections?
in time. No, the set points in time that that cannot change. Like they are fixed. the
like
fixed
the
points
main
in time.
events, like
In
the,
Doctor Who, it
yeah,
was like the
okay,
fixed point
understood.
in
Yeah,
time
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean? Like the defining moments. I would
We don't know
assume
how to
that's for
speak.
them.
We have a podcast and we don't know
We're
how to speak.
blanking, man. I swear we're geeks. I promise you, we're geeks. Like
I promise you, we know how to speak.
yeah.
Listen,
like-
English is the second language for both of us.
no, actually, it's not for me.
Well, I
Unfortunately,
mean, come on.
unfortunately for me, it's not.
Well, I mean, it's an official language, but it's still your second language.
It's a national language.
Like your first language is Maltese.
I learned Maltese first, then Italian, then English.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, like I forgot what I was going to say now. No, for these moments, for these moments,
they might have more than 4 or 5 players. They might have 10, or they might have 8. They might have.
Here's a prediction. I think someone is going to leave the campaign and die.
Ah, yeah, for sure, with so many players.
She remembers it. The Nexus event. It's the Nexus event. That's what I was
Thank you, Jade.
Thank you, Jade.
That's why we have Jade.
We do nothing without you. To be fair, by the way, thank you, Jade. She made this outfit for me.
This incredible outfit.
Like look at the lining on it. Like she did all of this, and she finished it like 2 hours before.
Can you stand up? Is he gonna be on camera if he stands up?
Let's see.
Come on. Look at that.
Yeah.
Brava, Jade.
Started from like, what would be cool to have, and she went off on a tangent, and she did all of this. It's
that's
insane.
That's why he's.
Thank you.
He's cosplaying Samurai Jack today.
No, not cosplaying Samurai Jack. If I was cosplaying Samurai Jack, you're cosplaying Robbie Damon. That's the
old version of Samurai Jack.
So predictions. I think someone is going to die. I don't think it's going to be someone from the old cast, although I think that would be.
It might be.
I think
it might be literally anyone.
Let me rephrase. I don't want it to be someone from the old cast, but also like new people are good to see. Yeah, we've had these kinds of things before.
First of all, now I just opened the Critical Role website in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the picture of these people. First of all, everybody's so hot. Everybody is so hot. I'm in love with Whitney Moore. She is gorgeous. So I guess she's gonna play. I don't know, the queen. The queen that she is. I don't know. I'm openly in love with Whitney Moore. I don't know what she's gonna play, but she's gonna be fantastic anyway.
Imagine she plays a single class character.
That's fine.
Is it? Are you sure it's fine?
That's fine.
Is it because it's with me more? No, because here's the standing joke between us. Pepe always plays multi-class characters, and it kills me on the inside. He kills me on the inside, like every time. Like even we're planning to play something like in the coming weeks, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna play like 3 classes at once. Anyway, so going back to the class. If you can't tell, we both have ADHD. Let's go back to the predictions.
Okay, so I do have 2 that I'm already 100% sure about.
Go.
It's about my husband and my wife, which is Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey. I love them.
I don't think they consented to this, but okay, go ahead.
So I think Travis is gonna play for the first time a full caster.
That would be on my predictions as well.
I think he never played a full caster so far. He dabbled a little bit in Magic,
and I think I have this suspicion he may play like a younger wizard character kind of thing, or sorcerer, but like someone who's young and inexperienced kind of thing.
Yeah. So he can justify not knowing Magic fully.
I think that would be a good way to go.
At the same time, I know that Travis loves playing martial characters so much, so he might be playing something like, I don't know. I mean, I think for him it's time to go into full caster. But I think he might play something like a ranger, like like a half.
Look, I think if he doesn't play a full caster, he's gonna play a barbarian again with its name saying Gron.
Nah. I don't think he's gonna play a barbarian again.
Think he would, no,
also because he had a full melee, full
martial.
Then he went paladin, warlock paladin.
Yeah.
So he was he was a hexblade paladin.
Yeah.
So he was still a martial, but with some magic. And I think that's the character he enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I mean
maybe
Grog.
Maybe
Grog. Grog was he was Grog.
Yeah. And Chetney is
Jade
again.
is nodding on the background right now. She's like Grog. Yeah.
And Chetney is full melee again. Because he's a blood hunter, but he does not have spells.
Yeah, but they have like different functionalities.
Absolutely.
Thing.
So so I think he might go full caster.
I think full caster is a good thing to go
Laura
for.
Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Bailey. You remember when they used to do that thing like with the sparks every time?
Yes, but I also
said Laura Bailey.
Yeah, but I also I'm a huge fan of Laura Bailey because she voices Jaina Proudmoore in World of Warcraft.
She voices so many things.
But for me, like World of Warcraft is a huge thing. Like these are all my I don't even have the full collection. Like Yeah, I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan.
He's
And like
not
Laura Bailey,
obsessed with World of
which,
Warcraft.
by the
at
way,
all.
I crafted Jaina Proudmoore's pendant out of metal a few weeks ago. But anyway, I've been meaning to kind of tag Laura Bailey in it, but like I've been shy about it.
You should.
But
She's
I
never gonna
may.
see it.
She's not
You
gonna see
should.
it, but
You should
yeah.
just try, you know.
Anyway, so what do you
So-
think? What do you think
I think that she's gonna finally fulfill her dream
of?
to either play a rogue or a warlock. Because every time she tries to play a rogue, there is someone else who is already playing a rogue.
I think she might play a warlock.
I,
Let me tell you why. Because I think her best role play comes from having like driving forces.
Yeah, that's true.
Having a rogue, the main driving force typically is internal. Like, I'm a rogue, this is what I want to do, and this is my internal goal, kind of thing. And I think having like these drivers narratively, I think that would put, like, a warlock would fulfill that role better. But that being said, I'm not as convinced as Travis being a full caster. But I think if I had to choose between those two predictions, I would say that she would be a warlock.
So I think a warlock, because obviously she wanted to play a warlock in campaign 2, but obviously Travis was already playing a warlock, so she decided to go with Jester, which was, by the way, the best choice ever.
I think it may have been her best character.
Absolutely. I have zero doubt.
Yes.
I like Imogen.
Yes.
I love Vexalia.
Yes.
But
But Jester was
Jester is
even just by the sheer amount of
such-
cosplayers.
such a brilliant character.
Yeah.
Such an incredible
Absolutely.
performance. And also it's part of her personality.
Yes.
Like sometimes you see interviews. Like I've seen recently, her and Travis, they were at GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 panels that they did. And while she's speaking, Jester just comes out.
Yeah,
it's
just
part
her
of
nature.
her. Yes, it's part of her.
Who
so
else?
I
Yeah,
think
sorry.
I think campaign 1 she went ranger. Campaign 2 she went cleric. Campaign 3 she went sorcerer. That's why I think she might be going rogue. Because
Yeah,
I think
kind of
she's going to go full melee.
I think expecting the cast to change completely is going to be difficult. I think it might be a warlock. And I don't
Warlock is a high chance as well.
and I think because I don't think we've seen it in Critical Role or any of the campaign, like a great old one warlock. I don't think we've seen
I don't
any,
think they
unless
ever
it
had one.
was one of these kind of like on and off characters. I don't think so.
No, I don't
seem to recall.
I don't think anyone has ever played
Great
a
old one, by the way, is my favorite.
Yes.
By far my favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
good class.
I just love it.
So who else? Who's your prediction? I mean,
So,
obviously Sam
yeah,
Riegel
we-
is gonna have Liam picking both race and class for him. So we might never know until we see it, because
that's very difficult.
it's
Okay,
a third person.
so we said Telesin is going to play a homebrew subclass that we agree on.
My money is on
Liam-
that.
I don't know anything about the rest of the predictions, to be honest. Like, I don't know what to choose. But going off by Liam always tends to play like
Deeply scarred characters,
or if
yes.
not, they're like super broody and like it's his
Well, I mean, to be
way of
honest,
performance.
Orim in campaign 3, he was a super nice guy.
Yeah, but
He was not brooding, was not.
no, but
he
he
had
was
that-
like the kind of like the quiet aspect of
Yes,
it.
yes,
Like,
he was the normie in that group
Yeah.
of crazy people.
Yeah.
Like he was a normal dude, like
I
a
honestly
nice
don't.
guy.
I have this feeling that he might like give a nod to his inspiration in getting into acting, which is
Shakespearean-
what was the King Arthur movies from way back when. I think it was King Arthur movies. Was it Kevin Branagh, the guy who plays Gilderoy Lockhart in the movies of Harry Potter? He had, I think, yes, either Excalibur or King Arthur, something like that
Okay.
was called. I can't remember exactly right now. But I think he may go Paladin, like full knight in shining
Wow.
armor. That would be very interesting to see Liam O'Brien as.
Yeah.
Like the knight in shining armor kind of thing.
Okay.
Having-
that would be nice.
Yes,
That's a
and-
nice prediction. I like that. I like that.
Also, I think having to juggle your motivations versus your oath, I think there can be a lot of conflict that I think he likes to play. Like these kind of, okay, so this is the right thing to do, but my oath tells me I have to do the lawful thing to do, for example, you know, or that sort of thing. I think it might be a little bit interesting to see
Now-
something like that.
Jumping off of that, because you gave me an idea. Because my idea was,
And this is typically how our conversations go, like legit.
yeah, 100%. Uh, Now in Araman,
Mhm.
there is not gonna be necessarily God, like manifested God. Like in D&D, we know that gods exist.
Yeah.
In Araman, they might not,
Yeah.
because maybe they are all dead,
Yeah.
or they are so far away and so removed from
Yeah.
from the world.
There's no direct
What
influence.
if his struggle comes from playing a cleric
That would be
in
interesting.
that world? Like imagine a cleric without
Ooh,
like
a
cleric that
cleric
doesn't
without a
know,
voice.
yeah, that doesn't
Like
know
back in
if the god actually exists or not.
That-
Because I think it would be amazing playing a cleric, because he's a
Yes.
very technical, he's amazing at role play.
Yeah.
But when he fights, he's really good.
It could also be kind of like, why have you forsaken me kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it would be very dramatic.
It would be very
you know?
Liam O'Brien.
I think it might be, but Paladin is a good guess as well. I think.
I think that I would say Paladin or Cleric now that you say it like that. Now, for the rest, honestly, like Robbie Damon, Luke Carrazzo, Abria, Whitney, and Alexander, I honestly don't know.
Listen, for
I honestly don't
Alexander
know.
Ward, I'm gonna say he's gonna play some monstrous thing.
You think so?
He always does.
How cool
And
would
he's so good.
How cool would
he's
it be?
so good at
How
that.
cool would it be if one of them, Matthew Mercer, I hope so, plays a Kenku, who can only speak words after he hears them.
That's insane. That's
That
insane.
would be so insane.
Yes, he actually did that with Kiri.
Yeah.
In
But
campaign
like,
2.
it would be so insane to see that again.
That's insane. Like that's an idea for a character that is very cool, but very impractical.
Oh, remember the character you used to play that didn't know a word and he was always slaughtered the mud and shit.
Yeah.
What was he called? I can't
Uh,
remember. Once he played the character, it was a druid.
I think
No,
it was
it
a
wasn't a
druid.
druid.
I think
No,
it was a
because you had
druid.
the meteor. Was it a druid with Melf's meteors? No,
Hold on.
can't have been.
Which one are you referring to again?
I think it was like a halfling or a gnome that was mute, couldn't talk, came like
Yes,
from the
it
woods.
was a druid.
Was it a druid?
Was
Yeah,
was
it
a moon
wasn't-
druid.
It was a moon druid.
Because
That's
I was
what
proving.
It was.
I
happened?
was trying to prove a point.
Something
No
like
worries.
that.
Just something fell in the background. Yeah, it was a moon druid because I was trying to prove a point.
And catapult you did, not meteors. Catapult you did.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes,
But
yes,
I think
yes.
it's something like that, like something which is incredibly performing in terms of art, which is very challenging to do.
Yes.
I think that would be very interesting to see.
By the way, Luis Carasso, I think is gonna play. I'm gonna say I think he's gonna play another charisma-based character because he played a paladin
Yeah.
in Calamity.
I mean, you
I
could.
think he's so good at impersonating
Well,
that strong charismatic
I
thing.
don't.
I'm gonna say sorcerer for him.
Maybe.
I think
I
he
wouldn't,
will
honestly.
we will go with a full caster.
I think
What about Marisha?
it's so difficult.
That's
I
really
honestly,
difficult.
she's so very like when it started campaign 1, she was typecast as she's the druid kind of thing. Campaign 2 came over and campaign 3 came over and campaign 3 she kind of knocked it out of the park. Even though I admit it's not one of my favorite characters for Marisha, and we disagree on that.
Yeah, I know it.
But I think it was a little bit I mean, it just wasn't my favorite. You know, it's just a matter of taste. I mean, she was excellent in the performance of
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
she multiclassed, so
yeah, she won. That might have
she
been it.
was
She might have-
sorcerer,
she might have-
sorcerer and
She might
warlock.
have triggered me.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know for Marissa. I think I would love to see her as a druid again, but I don't think they would go for a druid again.
No.
I don't think they would reprise their roles.
I think she will go full melee.
She might.
She went full caster,
Mm-hmm.
full melee in campaign 2, full caster again in campaign
would
3.
follow a pattern.
She might go
It
full
would follow a
melee
pattern.
again. You know, to switch things around
Yes,
a little bit.
but also I think we also have to take allowance for the fact that this is a show now. I mean, yes, they do play the characters that they like, but also there has to be a kind of like, and also that there are 13 players. We're going to have overlaps for sure.
I mean, there is only 11 classes.
Exactly.
So there has to
Exactly.
be an overlap.
But anyway, so I think in terms of predictions, I think that's it.
I think that's
for
the
it.
best we can do. Yeah. Okay, we did Laura, we did Alison, we did Liam.
Travis. Yeah.
We did. What do you think Matthew's gonna play? Bard?
I think so.
You're convinced that he's gonna play a bard?
I'm not convinced, but I think he would most likely play a
It would
bard
be
just
amazing
to be the bard in the party and stick it back to the DM, because the bards are the ones that fuck the most with the DM. They are away. You
Yeah,
have to admit it.
Yeah, but Matt is not that kind of player.
I think he will be.
He's too good. He's too nice.
No, yes,
He's too
he
nice.
is.
That's
He
Liam.
is.
Liam is that kind of character.
I don't think
He's that
so.
kind of player.
I think he can be a bard.
No, absolutely.
No, yeah, okay. I
actually
don't mean like he can.
be a bard.
Yeah, obviously he can, but like
yes.
I think he has the best potential now to be a bard.
Yeah. If he wants to fuck
But
with
no,
the DM,
no, unfortunately.
Ashley,
Yeah.
come on, let's just do the
Ashley.
last Ashley and Sam. Let's do Ashley and Sam. And
Sam
then
is
we're
very
after.
difficult because
Liam is gonna choose.
yeah,
He's gonna be another small race.
I think if I had to kind of like throw a random one, Huffling Rogue or Gnome Rogue, something like that. I think they could be a rogue.
He's gonna go rogue again. He was rogue in campaign 2.
Could be though.
I think he's gonna go like
But maybe
like
not-
something crazy, like a
But not maybe-
barbarian
yeah,
or
but not
something.
Maybe
Because
like
he never
some
done
of these
that.
half-caster rogues.
Like but Arcane Trickster, he played
Yeah,
an
he
Arcane
was an Arcane Trickster.
already.
No, not
I
a
think
rogue.
he's gonna go like something wild, like a barbarian, like something that you would not expect from Sam.
Oh yeah, maybe one of those like arcane barbarians. What are they called?
Yeah, maybe the Path of the Tree barbarian,
Yeah,
like this one that
something like
teleports
that.
around, or like something like that.
Maybe. I think. Yeah, to be fair, that would be completely Sam to see him say, "I want to rage," kind of
You
thing.
know? We gotta find out who's gonna be the next one. Who
I don't
wants to
know honestly
rage.
about Sam. I don't know. And about Ashley,
Ashley is something out. I think Ashley might play a warlock.
Warlock is a good one.
Because she loves to have
Maybe
like
she'll go
these things to
martial.
interact with.
Or Ranger, maybe
Ranger, I don't know.
with a pet.
With a pet, might be.
With a pet, I think
Yeah.
the pet thing might be an angle.
Yeah, she might
for
be
her.
her thing. Having a
But
pet.
unfortunately, we are running out of time now, and we do have to come to a
Done.
close on this. We've been over
Yes.
2 hours for this, so thank you so much for watching. Honestly, like this is
If you have
episode
stick around
1.
so far, we love you. Honestly,
Yeah,
I love you. I
So-
don't know about him. I love you.
yeah, I do. Also, I like you as well, platonically.
I love you.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Honestly, this has been
Thank
so
you
much
so
fun. Thank you,
much.
Peppe, for joining. Thank you very much for. Honestly, I have to give credit. This was Peppe's motivation all along. This was his bugging me to participate and do
Yes,
something like
literally
this,
every day.
and other projects in the future,
And other
which we are working on a daily basis. So
We're
thank you
gonna
so
talk about
much.
that.
We're
We're gonna talk about that
future.
in
Yes.
our in an episode.
In an episode
eventually.
sometime in the future.
Eventually,
We will
yes.
see you again soon-ish in the mid October, for the Critical Role campaign for
Episode 1.5.
episode 1.5 for us.
By the way, give us your predictions as well.
Yes.
Like we want to know
Absolutely.
at least the main cast. Give us
Yeah.
the main cast predictions. The other players is kind
If
of
we
hard.
manage to nail all of them across like our predictions and the comments, it would be perfect.
Sure.
Never gonna
Sure.
happen. Never gonna happen. Like the odds on that are
Listen, yeah, if
impossible.
we have one correct, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
If I guessed one correctly, I'm happy.
if that one prediction will be mine, I will never let you live it down. I will
That's fine.
never let you live it down.
That's fine.
Never. We will be like 90 in nursing homes and be like, "Hey, Pep, remember
You
that day I
remember
was
whenever-
right."
And I'll be fuck you. Fuck you,
In
Kurt.
Italian. And so, yeah, that's it for this episode. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you again so much for Andre for
Yes.
the amazing photos he's taking behind the scenes.
Still taking pictures
Still
right
taking
now.
pictures. How many pictures roughly right now have you taken? He's gonna check it.
750.
Oh my god.
752 photos.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Thank you so much.
None of
And-
them usable.
Thank you so
Jade.
much. Yeah, thank you so much to Jade. Jade is going to be a recurring character in
Yeah,
our
Jade is
podcast.
gonna- yeah.
Obviously, she's behind the scenes.
Sooner or later, we're gonna put another microphone. We're gonna put
Yeah.
a microphone over there as
Yeah.
well, and she's gonna talk as well.
For those of you who haven't actually heard her say, she said, "I'm the goblin behind the camera," and I believe her. And thank you so much, obviously, for this and for all stuff. And Jade is a very much and even Andre, they're very accomplished cosplayers in their own
Wow.
right and crafters, and
Yeah, as we said, we're gonna put
Yeah.
their
Socials and
socials
everything,
in the comments and
Yeah.
in the description.
Yes.
So please
Yes.
leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Let
Yes.
us know if there is something that you would like us to talk about, and we will perhaps consider it.
We'll see. Consider it.
Yes.
For sure. So we'll see you next time. Until then, take care, and I hope you have fun playing. Being geeks about this.
Being maybe
Epic
epic
geeks. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.